y'all little sussy vodkas are gonna make me act up.
Hell to you!
Hi everybody, hi, oh my god, hi, wait. Are you guys ready for Mario Party? I'm not. Hi, welcome
We're gonna be
everybody.
good.
I'm joined here
Hello.
by these three super cuties. We got Goose Boose, we got Cookie,
Hi.
we got me, and
Yeah.
they're ready to be beat, right?
I think so. Yeah.
The beating. Obviously.
Yeah.
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win.
You're gonna win.
I'm gonna win. Yeah, I'm gonna win.
Dude, I love like the old Mario Party where Wario just goes, "Oh my god," when he loses. That's like the best thing ever. Hi.
Because it's like Joseph Joestar.
Oh my god, yes.
God.
Well, thank you everybody who's joining and subscribing. I see you. I'm just like, we're all running around with our heads like cut off
Hey,
right
y'all
now.
little sussy
We all
vodkas are
just
gonna
woke
make me
up. We're like,
act up.
oh fuck, wait. Way too early collab in the afternoon. Hi everybody. Wow, everybody's here that I know. We all definitely have Mario Party. We definitely have it already. We've been super prepared for this. I didn't just throw a thumbnail together.
I lost my Switch this morning.
What? He pissed me off so much. Literally, he was like, Choco, I can't find my Switch. I'm like, are you serious? How do you not know where your Switch is?
Oh my
He's like,
God.
I got
don't know."
drunk. Last time we played it, I was drunk. We were playing Switch Sports. And I threw it. I don't know where it went, and it was under the couch.
Oh, I see.
That's not
It
even
was under
like
your
a
couch?
lie. No, that's not a lie. I did find it under my couch. Yeah.
Oh my god, what is with you under the couch? You want to tell them the cheese story?
No, I'm
You
good.
had cheese under your
Yeah,
couch?
go ahead,
Wait,
tell
why
them.
do you have cheese and switches under your couch? It's
Do
all
you just get
Wario.
drunk and throw
Do y'all
things
know
under
the
your couch?
Wait, hang on. Do you guys know the cheese story?
No.
We gotta know
Oh.
about couch cheese now, though. You can't just bring up couch cheese and not explain couch cheese.
So I went shopping one day for food because I'm a human being, and then I bought cheese with it, and I put everything away, and I guess the cheese fell like at some point, and it went
The
under
little
the
goblin
couch.
pulled it under your couch.
Oh my God.
I
and
think
then-
that your house checked for like, goblins, like she said, because that's,
Yeah.
that sounds like that's so unlikely that a switch would wind up under there. And like, what is it, like a half pound of
Maybe.
boar's head Swiss or something?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I had like a really nice like pepper jack cheese, and it was just like under the couch for like 2 months, and then later
Oh
I found it.
my God. Did it
I
start
found
to
it,
stink?
Yeah,
and then
it gets
wait,
better.
wait.
It
Yeah,
gets
I
better.
found
Wait
it,
for
and
it.
I'm like, oh shit, my cheese. Wait a minute, and then I pick it up, and I'm like, oh gosh, I hope this is good. It's like, vacuum sealed. I open it, it still smells good. Give it a little taste. It actually tastes better than
I hate
usual.
you for this.
And then, and then I'm like, yeah, it was like nice and aged, and I was like, oh, that's cool. All right, and then sick. I put it in the fridge. I made a sandwich with it, and I'm good.
And you didn't get like gastrointestinal diseases or Zika virus?
That's what I'm
No, I'm
saying.
good.
That's what
Oh
I'm
my
saying. He's like,
God.
no, it's cheese. It's just better whenever it's aged. And I'm like,
But
Yeah,
it
it is.
wasn't refrigerated. That's the thing, you know?
I think I
Well-
aged whenever I heard you tell that story.
Uh,
That was fine. You guys are acting like it was bad. It was
surprised.
good.
I'm surprised it didn't
Good.
like turn totally like gray slices of cheese like
Yeah.
cheese likes to do. But I guess
No.
like, do you keep your like place like chill? Like, is it really cold there?
Oh yeah, I keep my place like super cold every day.
Okay, and maybe it was kind of like acting like it was in the refrigerator the whole time.
Yeah.
That's so weird to me still that it wasn't like just like you open it up and it's like those videos of the people that find like the lunchbox in their locker from like 2 years ago and it just creates like the
But it was
like,
like-
Evil
Exactly,
7
exactly.
mold spores. Just
It was like
Yeah.
vacuum sealed and everything, so it was like undisturbed by nature. It was
I just
fine.
can't believe it. That's
And
crazy.
you know what? that makes me question like the quality of the food we're getting. Like shit, that shit is like giving us the microplastics in our brain.
Oh, dude, no. Food is so fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
you can't think about it because then you're just like, well, I guess I just won't eat anything.
I guess I'll
have
just
you
like
guys-
live less. That's fine.
That's like the opposite of Taco Bell. Live less.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like an outbreak of like horrible diseases last week because of the salami mixed with something?
Like,
Wait,
with
tell me about that.
and all sorts of botulisms
You know what I
and
saw,
all sorts of
though?
weird things. Yeah.
So it's like all the great value stuff, kind of, right? Is like going under scrutiny, like really a lot. Did the friend code work? Did it not work?
Oh, did you update it? My bad.
Oh no, you try it, see if it works, and then if it doesn't, we'll make it work.
We're gonna
We'll
make it work.
I'm gonna hide my
But-
screen so I don't dox your friend code.
What I was gonna say is, damn, there was like a big outbreak of like the great value, like apple juice. I saw it on the news, and it's like,
What?
I don't even know what the oh, you know what it was? They were just like grinding up the apples with the seeds in them. So
No
it's like
way.
it was like
Arsenic?
arsenic.
It's all
Yeah.
just arsenic.
Poison
That's
beverage.
crazy.
Yeah.
Apple juice. Hold on, I
What?
want to like double check.
Who
Arsenic
ran
apple
you
juice.
into the apple factory that
great
did that big
value.
fuck up?
Yeah. And it was like, Walmart Great Value apple juice sold at Walmart recalled for arsenic contamination. More than 9,500 cases of apple juice. And it's like, think of all those people, like, kids
You
are going
give
back
that
to
to kids.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are just probably like buying, you know, the 12 pack or whatever, and then like throwing it in their kids' lunchbox every day. They're not like,
Oh my god.
You know?
Here's a little bit of arsenic for your school day, honey.
yeah.
They gave him a
That's
poison
insane.
potion. That's awesome.
That reminds
Did you
me of
guys
that
ever?
like huh?
Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say that reminds me of that like epidemic of Capri Suns with like the mold growing in it because like you can't see
Yeah.
inside
Oh
the
my God,
pouch.
yes.
Ew.
Yeah, people thought it was like a
Yeah.
human ear because it was like in the shape of an ear. Like an ear inside of their Capri Sun. When they opened it up, the mom was like mortified. Do you
Little
guys
Timmy's gonna
remember
die in
too?
front
Okay,
of
so
the
we're talking
class
about how
little.
food's fucked up. Do you guys remember too, like when this lady left like a box of the Great Value ice cream bars in the cart after like 3 hours, and she was like, "Oh fuck!" She took them out, and none of them melted.
That's so
Good.
scary. How's that even possible? It's just like
Yeah.
it's
And then people
cold,
do like their own like experiments too. Like here's like one dude, it's like I linked it to the part where it's like 60 minutes out in the 80-degree weather and it barely changes shape. I don't know how they do that with ice cream. That's like you said, probably plastic, right?
It's gotta be. I'm throwing it up on the screen. It's 3D printed food. It's just like, have you guys seen all those? No, that's different. But have you guys seen those videos of people like going to like, going to the store and getting produce, but they're getting like unripe fruit, and they're putting fake plastic food in our food supply.
Oh
The
my
government
God.
is giving us fake food, and it's just like an unripe mango or some shit.
Hell is this? It's all green. What the hell?
Yeah.
It's so gross. It's so funny. Hold up.
Yep, that's 80 degrees and out for 60 minutes already. That's insane.
Okay, so I will
Sweet.
say I watched a guy like do this. And it's because it's all like it's the vegetable oil because this is like it's a
Right.
parentheses like ice cream, you know, like
Yeah,
it's
like
Yeah.
imitation crab is
Yeah,
spelled with
yeah,
a
yeah.
K, kind
Ice
of.
cream.
So
Yeah.
it's like ice cream,
Quote unquote ice.
like
Quote unquote cream.
yeah, with like vegetable oil whipped in it. So that's just like that's why it doesn't melt because it's all just like fucking vegetable oil.
Cheese. They don't even taste good either. Is the wild thing.
No, they
It's like,
don't.
you just get like the original one with these.
These guys make me think of the same energy as the lady that did like the monster can video. That's like my favorite video of all time.
Oh my god, I love that
Where
video.
she's
Oh
like,
yeah, bottoms up and the devil
and the
laughs.
devil laughs.
I don't know the Monster Can one. I
Wait,
know a
wait,
Monster
wait.
Can meme, but I don't know a Monster Can video.
We won't talk about the monster can meme.
I don't know anything about the monster.
Monster Karen. I don't know.
Monster
There it is.
Karen.
There it is. Right there.
Oh, her! I do remember her.
She's iconic.
Yeah.
She is. I love this woman.
Short top.
Dude, she like is selling me on Monster. I don't even like it.
You could have here in Hebrew 666 on the can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
What do you see in the O?
What's in that O?
There's a cross.
Oh my god.
What?
Christ got to do with an energy drink?
What does he got to do with an energy drink?
So I thought, well, maybe
If she doesn't like that symbol, she should look at the mahjong tiles.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
She'll find meaning
weird
in every
and
one of them.
Big can. In fact,
Now do
Why
you
would they
know
put
what
the F word on a
enough is?
can?
so
Oh my god, Goose, you're reactive.
I know.
on the box. MILFs dig it, and you will too. This is
Milfs dig it.
So why would they have put a cross on the can? Here
Why
is
would
the
they put a
message.
cross on the can?
Antichrist.
This goes hard. Wait, this is my favorite part.
And then the Bible talks about the beast in Revelation. And look at monsters.
I like how this is like a science fair project.
Yeah,
I
I
know,
know. I
yeah.
like how she
She
has
really,
like the
like-
whole setup for
Where
like
is she?
each person.
Straight up.
This would be pretty sick if this was somebody at like Otacon's artist alley. They just had like a table explaining
Well, it
monster
looks
energy.
like she
Yeah.
is kind of at like a con. Like, maybe it's like a Christ con or something.
Yeah, this is
you
like
know?
furry con,
Christ
dude.
con. Oh my god.
Christ con.
Yeah.
Witchcraft. When the cross
Here it goes. Here it goes. Yeah. Yeah.
She cracked the code. She cracked it.
Dude, she's like, I cooked so hard just now.
This is like
Give it
when
back.
somebody like flips the dollar bill around, you know,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Well, you see, there's a pyramid and it's got one eye in it." Like,
Yeah, that's Masonic imagery.
yeah.
I'm obsessed with that. Thank you guys for letting me indulge. Okay.
Did
you guys
the
wanna
friend
start
code
Mario
work?
Party? It did.
Okay, good. Yeah. We can start. We can go ahead and get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I literally did an animation to that because she kind of sounds like she says, "Look at your imp closely" at the beginning. So,
Look
like,
at your imp closely.
Okay,
I did
sorry,
a
I had a
whole thing.
package at the door.
That's okay. Koki's gotta go get her package. That's fine.
Oh, I got it. I'm back already. I ran and got it.
Damn.
Let's see. Friend game, I believe, is how we do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is really weird. Like they take you through like the main menu like twice. I don't know why. This game is super odd and awkward. And I really hope the next one's not like this at all.
Yeah.
Did I set a code?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll set a code.
Join.
I don't even know if this is gonna matter. Hold up.
Well, I guess we could just find a friend's room, because why would else? No, it's not like anybody. Well, I don't know. Maybe you have some friend that's like knocking on the door, begging to get into this game of
Please.
Mario Party.
Please let me play with you guys.
Man,
Please
man.
let me play with you guys.
You blocked me on Twitter, but not here.
Celeste says we need an imp Karen. No, we don't. We need less Karens. What are you talking about? We need more errands. I want to see
No.
more old men freaking out videos. Where are those at?
Oh, because those usually are confiscated by the police as security footage.
True.
Let's see. It says no rooms can be found.
Yeah.
Did I add you on
found.
Switch? I forget.
Did you accept my friend request?
Okay, that might be the. Okay, hang on. Let me go. That might be the case. It would be okay. You got to go back to the main menu. You could do that by hitting the little home symbol. Okay,
Yeah.
there you are. Okay, Choco. I'm sorry about that. You did.
I see friend
No,
list.
it's okay.
up-
It's okay. I see where I stand. I know I'm way down here. You can't really see me down here.
Friend
Okay.
suggestion. Add friend. Where is my friend? Where's the friend request?
Where's
It should
my
be like
friend?
once
So
you go up into
sad.
that top portrait in the
Where's
top
my
left,
friend?
like scroll down a couple.
Yeah, but I don't see a request.
Oh yeah, yours was like glitchy, right?
Oh. No,
Well, she
I
got my
got it
thing
to work.
working.
Yo,
Oh,
this
okay.
this fucking game is cursed.
No, this game is hella cursed. The 2-hour wait last time I played this was just actually like iconic. Hold on, let me,
yeah, it was like
try
a
to
whole
actually
investigation.
Wow, it literally
So
says there
creepy.
are no sent friend requests. Hold on.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
did you
yeah.
accept it already? I'm so confused.
I don't think so. Why don't you give me your code? Wait,
That's
received
probably
friend
smart.
requests. No, I don't have any received. Okay, yeah, just post your code.
Okay.
I can post what to
Also, welcome to the cult, Zayd, CL, and everybody else that's joining. Sorry, I'm not as attentive with chat as I usually am, but I've got to hang out with these really, really cool people and Goose. So.
Hi.
Did you pay Mr. Nintendo his $89.99? Me, did you pay Mr. Nintendo his $89.99?
Oh my god, I might have to. Okay, wait. Send friend request. No, I think I did. User's friend list is full, Choco.
Oh, that's my
that
fault.
makes sense.
Oh no, I started it. Oh no, wait.
You have to unfriend one person immediately.
Hold on 1 second. Wait.
Who's
Thank you
getting
so
all
much,
the
Dead Eye
shopping
Duck, for
done?
all the subs, and thank you so much. Oh my god. Wait. I literally have been putting too much subs and gifts, and I don't know how to react while I'm trying to do this at the same time. I'm dying. Thank you so much. I'm freaking out. Imp overload. Imp is broken. I'm so sorry. Wow. Okay. I don't know how to react to that. Thank you. I'm just gonna pick somebody at random to unfriend. So whoever you are,
Yeah.
get
Yo,
fucked.
thanks for the subs. Now get unfriended, bitch.
Yeah.
Why do I have Markiplier? I'm unfriending him.
Oh yeah, of course. There you go. Easy answer.
I know the Pochita got fully funded. I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much. That's literally... Did you just drop that?
Okay, it said it's accepted.
Okay.
Oh yay!
Alright.
That means everything.
That's totally my bad. I'm too popular. I'm so sorry.
I know. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh cool, we're starting the game.
No, we're not supposed to be starting the game. I have to like back out.
I have to close out because I'm frozen on that screen.
Oh no.
Oops.
That's fine.
I fingered the button.
Oh, you released me at least. When you left, it released me from the frozen.
Okay.
Release me.
Alright. We got this. Oh my god. I don't know what to say. I'm so flabbergasted by those gifts. Thank you so much, guys. Wow. Thank you so much, Peter. Okay, friend game. We got this. This is like the hardest part, and once we're past this,
It's setting it up,
everything
yeah.
is like, yeah,
Yeah, it's
everything
smooth
is
sailing.
smooth sailing.
Why is there 2 menus?
I don't know.
why?
It's so
That is-
stupid.
I never noticed it, and I played it like a couple times before until now you pointed it out. I'm like, there are 2 menus. How come? I never noticed. I really never noticed it.
They wanted you to just really make sure you knew you were playing Mario Party Superstars for the Nintendo Switch.
Really wanted to hammer that home, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Room. Available slot. Okay. Okay.
I got 3 slots available. Wait a second. I mean,
There we go.
Slot.
We're all in.
2 of my slots are filled. There's 1 left. I mean,
Yep, I had to restart. After I got released, it just stayed on a black screen, so I had to restart. Okay, friend game.
This game's fucking haunted.
It
Oh,
is.
it
no.
is. It's actually cursed. I think like the ghost of Iwata is like telling
Stop.
everybody not to buy the new game. It's like, don't buy any more Nintendo products.
Oh god.
Don't
He's
do
double
it.
teaming with fucking Gunpei Yokoi.
They're the ones
Maybe
that killed
I
me.
did play this game. It said I played it for 3 hours.
3 hours. I can't even
my
remember
God.
a Meet Mario Party collab.
You know what's funny? I don't remember like buying this game either at all.
It
I
shows
think
up in your
it just
inventory.
shows up. It just comes with your Switch. They're like, they hear you have friends, and then it just installs itself.
It's
Yeah.
like a creepy pasta in the making.
Yeah,
Guys.
yeah.
I don't know why, but I have Mario Party
Mario
installed,
Party
and it's really
Superstars.
weird. It won't work.
You know, you have to say the full title: Mario Party Superstars for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Gone wrong.
It's like that Reggie video where he's like, I'm gonna go back to playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS.
Very natural.
It's your game. Thanks. Thanks,
Woohoo!
Toadette. She's already telling me I'm gonna win. Oh my god, she's my biggest fan.
It looks like
Wait.
we are in.
Yeah,
Yeah?
no, we're good.
Okay, good. So no memory card bullshit or nothing.
No
this
memory
time.
cards.
Well, it
Fingers
starts
crossed.
with
This is where
the
it-
pipe.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
where it like it crashed every time. I think we're good though.
Are you sure?
I'm holding my breath. Oh,
All
my
right.
god.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
god. I was so scared. We're good. We're in.
All right.
Yeah, buddy.
Who's gonna be who? Who's gonna be who? Who's gonna be who?
Oh. Is there anybody that like
Gosh.
really is like, this is my character?
I'm
I
gonna
kind
let
of
you
jump around.
guys- I'm gonna let you guys pick since you guys are my guests.
Okay. I usually Diddy Kong, so I have to play Donkey Kong instead.
Aw.
Luigi.
Aw.
Luigi.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
going
be Princess
Mario.
Peach since I'm dressed as Princess Peach right now.
There
I
you
like your
go.
asset, by the way. Did you whip that up for
Thank
today?
you. I actually have had this for a while. I had to get a Peach costume whenever the Peach game came out. I'm a writer.
Oh my
guy.
Oh, of
god,
course.
I love it. Oh.
So obviously we want to go to like the best place, right? Like,
Yeah.
Berlin, yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
I think I've only
obviously-
played on this map ever.
No,
I've
honestly,
never played
like, why
anything
would we
else.
mess around with the other ones even? Do we want like classic bonus stars where they give them to you for being like ass at the game and stuff, or?
Oh yeah, with like pity stars and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that usually throws the game around for like a curve if you want to do the traditional Mario Party experience, basically.
I
Yeah,
wanna
let's get
do
mad.
that.
Yeah, let's go
Let's get
normal
real
first.
mad. Let's
Yeah.
hate each other. But
Yeah.
Oh my god, I haven't played Mario Party in so long.
Alright.
I'm so excited.
Me too, me too, me too.
I'm gonna lick
Alright.
all the dice so you guys have to touch imp spit.
Oh, that's fine. I'm gonna put all the dice in my mouth anyway.
Wait, what?
Wait, you can't have dice and not put them in your mouth.
Yeah, clack them on the teeth a little bit.
Yeah.
That's like,
The ASMR.
that's like, you're just gonna swish the imp spit around in your mouth. You're crazy.
But I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I could sweat on it if you want.
What? Why? Okay,
We
let's
can
all
do
just share
sh-
bodily fluids right now. Get it out of the way. All right.
Yeah,
You guys ever
yeah,
get
yeah.
so sweaty that you can wring it out of your hair? Like,
Ew, no.
No.
oh, my bad.
Are you that sweaty right now?
No, no. I mean,
But I'm gonna
no.
be.
Hey,
I'm
y'all
gonna
little
be.
sussy vodkas are gonna make me act up.
Oh,
That's
you
like
can
you keep your
There's a lot
apartment
writing on
down
this
to a
game,
grocery
Choco.
store refrigerator
don't win this.
level. That you can save cheese in your apartment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
seeing his breath right now.
I could literally buy cheese right now and put it on my front porch, see what happens when the stream is over.
Oh God.
Stop. You're gonna be like one of those like dads. Are you fucking kidding me? One?
Yo,
One?
chocoVania.
Are you fucking kidding me? Hold on. I
It's
want to
because we've got
recount.
guest luck. That's what it is. We've got guest luck.
Absolutely.
I want to recount.
Yeah, okay, here's
Stop
a
the
recount.
count.
1.
Shut up.
Wario is second.
Mario has to press A. There you go.
Yeah, no, Mario pressed A. Don't worry.
He just really wanted you to know that he's second.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so cute in this.
Yeah, I wish I could play as her.
I know, right? Okay. Well, have fun, guys. I'm just gonna wait for my turn, I guess.
Oh God. It's okay. It's okay. It's happened to all of us. All of us have been one at a point.
That's like
Where's
a
the,
nat fucking one. That's crazy.
Oh, here we go. Here's a one. There we go.
Where's the Yoshi?
Yeah, there you go.
There's a lucky
What?
space too. I
the
forget.
one curse.
Oh yeah.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
I'll take 7 points.
Wait, so do we not get the Yoshi gooning sticker if we're not
No.
Yoshi?
You have to be
Aw.
Yoshi if you want the Yoshi getting, the crazy, gregarious
Hung
back
out,
shots.
sweating. Yeah.
Aw. Oh, I got a 2.
Oh, sick.
You got another 2?
Can't wait for my 3.
Minus 3 coins?
I didn't even know you could go into the negatives. What?
All right, let's go. Big numbers.
Oh, I
2?
do want
Number
the. I
2.
do
Bro.
want the Yoshi gooning.
I know, right? Why don't they give us all of the stickers? That's
Well,
like
you
the
have
best
Toad
sticker.
like getting good head, I guess.
Yeah, who's getting the best head?
Did you say test sticker?
What? I said
Like
that's
testicle?
the best sticker.
Oh,
What? No, why are you still
I-
thinking about testicles? You're always just thinking about testicles.
Because
It's so
we were
weird.
talking about his balls earlier. Smash them.
Wow! Custom block. Wow, that's so cool. I can get another one on purpose this time.
That's how a southern uses testicles. Smash the
minigame.
testicles.
Ready for this one? Is that Goose? Yeah, he's a little different now.
Hello. Some
Oh, we
people
have
call
to-
it a curse.
Oh, we have to like
No.
L and R like pump up Bowser and inflate him.
Yeah.
More
We got
games.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
This Bowser is so cute, by the way. It's like big Bowser. I want it.
Oh,
Luigi?
okay, I got it. No, I just didn't get it.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. How good are you with inflation, buddy?
Not very good. But I know how to pump things.
Okay, that's good.
Stop! What even?
This is not going well.
This is how I get up in the morning.
We're
straight up.
doing it.
Oh, I was tapping furiously. We gotta go
Yeah.
slowly. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You gotta slowly pump that shit.
Don't worry. Our Bowser's getting so big. I'm gonna have a. Oh,
Good job, Choco.
Well,
I was mashing
job,
too
Cookie.
fast.
Thank you, thank you.
all right, don't worry.
Somebody in my chat said long strokes, and that's their first time chat. That's crazy.
Good, good. All right, turn 2.
Alright, let's get
Are
All
you
it.
right,
dead?
big numbers.
Yeah, let's get a big one.
Let's get a one.
3! Better than
Yeah.
one. Better than one.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
That is so like condescending.
That's so passive aggressive.
Wow.
Like, could
Yeah.
you imagine? Like, your friend just keeps
Wow.
rolling a 1, and you just keep going, wow.
You
Wow.
got this.
Oh my god. Lucky you. That one's pretty passive
Ready for
aggressive.
That one's
too.
pretty good.
No, it's very.
Why does he shove people when he goes past them?
He's a
Cause
bad
he's
guy.
Wario.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want
bad
to buy
piece of shit.
anything. Well, I don't think I want to buy anything. I don't
That's what
think.
he did
Well,
to that one princess in Wario Land 4 or whatever.
you
Oh my
know
god,
what?
I
you
love
see it.
that.
Yeah,
I'll
he
be a
saves the
bad guy.
princess and then he grabs her by the hair and fucking throws her across the room, gets the treasure
Jesus.
instead.
Wow.
Yeah. He's got no time for a thought. That's crazy.
There we go. Luigi.
I don't know why people watch Andrew Tate when they could just watch
Oh.
Wario.
Okay. Wait,
Look at
dice.
him reading his little map. That's so adorable.
I know. You guys ever hear of Mario the Music Box?
Oh
What's
my God,
that?
you need to tell them about that. Oh my god, you need to
Have
tell
you
them.
ever wondered what would happen if Mario was made into a hardcore yaoi Rayona like visual novel RPG Maker game?
Wait, no,
that's
I know
like,
the one you're talking about. I know
yes,
the one
and
you're
it's
talking
made by
about.
a couple. Yes.
Yes! Oh my god. Dude, it's so good. Oh my god.
I played like a chunk of it. I couldn't even. I got my ass beat by Cunty Mario, so I really couldn't continue playing.
I should totally stream that. I forgot
You
about its
should. It's like
existence.
such a ridiculous. It's ridiculous enough for at least one stream, and the fact that it
Yeah.
has so many cutscenes, like so much like lovingly
animation.
drawn
Yeah.
art, like you know,
Lovingly,
it
it's
really was someone's passion project, though, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like.
Fully developed story and stuff, and it's so melodramatic.
I know, but then they all
And it's
just die
Mario.
in such horrible fucking ways. Like,
Yeah.
oh my
It's like-
god.
I just want to know who played Mario and they were like, it's missing this.
I mean, I guess it's just like you have like a, you know, you're into something and then you combine your interests, you know?
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, Mario's my comfort character, so like, I totally
Oh,
get
shit.
it.
So you obviously want to see him get destroyed.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, not like sexually or anything.
Just
Um,
emotionally and mentally.
I don't know.
It was also
I should
like
leave.
Meat's first Mario game too.
Yeah, like I played
That
like
was your first
64.
play.
Well, I played like 64 as a kid, but I didn't really get far, you know, like because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So this is probably like the Mario game that I played the most of, and I didn't even beat it. Oh shit, I forgot to
God.
go away.
Oh my
I hate
god.
these hammers. I hate the hammers. Why are there
No, me
hammers?
too.
Who's throwing hammers? Who's throwing
don't
hammers off
know.
of a 14-story floor?
Asshole.
Oh god, I like how you had like a muffled scream as you fell.
Oh god.
Oh, awesome. Okay, good.
Damn, I actually got the bag. Okay. I didn't think I would.
I only got 28.
Gellock says, "Well, me, do you want to
GG.
play Mario 64 with Choco?" Yeah. Do you guys ever want to do a Mario 64 collab with like your own custom models? Just let me know. I'm gonna start like organizing.
I
these
didn't know
really
you could
cool
put
events.
models in there.
I would, yeah, that'd be super sweet.
Okay.
Mhm.
What?
As soon as I get the server set up, I'm inviting you guys.
Hell yeah. Let's block it, baby. All right, I'm going up in numbers at least. I'm 4 now instead of 3.
I'm
Hey,
just
one
trying
by
to find a
Two,
picture of
three,
Crunchy
4.
Mario.
Crazy.
Wait, let me see where the star even is. I don't even know. Oh, you guys are gonna get it like way before I do.
I think the star is somewhere on the board.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
definitely on the board. You're absolutely.
You are right.
You're
Somewhere
so
there.
smart, bestie. That's like crazy.
Thank you.
Okay.
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 I didn't
I'm
deserve
not
getting
gonna
shoved. That's fine.
Can you imagine just getting shoved by this like gorilla?
It would be
That's so
awful.
scary. Yeah, probably like break your knees.
Your knees.
Yeah,
It's like
or
that
just
one video
crumple
of
into
that
the
guy.
dirt.
That
Where's
guy who like
Cunty Mario?
gets dragged across the forest. Oh my
What?
god.
That's who beat my ass. Okay, so without
So cunty.
spoilers, basically, Mario gets possessed by like the spirit of this woman, you know? And so this is him when like the woman is like fully possessed him. And everybody just started calling him Cunty Mario.
Oh my god, Cunty Mario. Wow, he's so hot. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is really hot.
Those eyelashes.
I
Oh my
know.
God.
Like he's so intense.
I'm gonna put it on stream for chat.
Oh,
Hold
do
on.
it, do it.
I'm gonna put Cunty Mario next to you. Wait.
It's my enemy, but also my. We could be enemies to lovers.
Enemies to lovers arc. Dude, I'm gonna have
Okay,
like
it's
so many
just
people be like, okay, but who's like the girl Mario?
Oh my
The
god.
Curse of Mario
He's
Riona.
so serious. He's so serious. Like he's so like locked in. Like yeah, he's slayful. Like this Mario is playing Dress to Impress.
Oh, definitely. He's like literally like zoned in completely and not listening to a word anybody's saying.
Yeah, literally.
And like he is wearing like a full like beautiful gown and everything. Like it's
I'm absolutely playing this. I'm absolutely playing this.
welcome to the Koopa Bank. What happens if I make it? Oh, okay. I don't have any coins. That's fine. Lucky space. What does that do? I'm
So
Wario.
serious, so demure.
He is demure.
So mindful.
Very mindful. Mindful of evil
Mindful of evil.
because he's
cuntiness.
possessed.
Yeah. What'd you buy, Goose? What'd you buy, huh? Ew, double dice? Ew.
Yeah, set of balls.
Double D's, baby.
Why are you still talking about balls? Ugh,
Not talking
nobody
about
even
balls.
said anything about balls.
No,
What's wrong with
no,
you?
no,
You're always just thinking about balls. Look at your like,
no.
look at your avatar. It's just waiting for it.
I do want to compliment that I love that as it jumps up, the tits do jiggle. That is,
Your breasts are fantastic.
they are
Thank you.
wonderful.
I
Yeah.
was born with these.
Nice.
Yeah. Uh huh. Yeah. I love how that was like a stretch goal for your donathon.
It's
Yeah, I mean-
beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what people
the
voted
tits
for.
will
That they
jiggle.
wanted it.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
I love
my
that that's
God.
like the animation is the tit jiggle. It's perfect.
That was
Also,
an
the
extra
ending
bonus.
screen, like the game over screen, like I can't unsee him as pregnant. Like he looks pregnant.
Yeah, he
What?
looks like he's holding his pregnant belly.
He's holding the music box, the titular music box.
Oh, I thought you were saying like he literally gets pregnant because I was like,
no,
I mean,
honestly,
I get it with that Mario.
honestly,
I get it.
that would be one of the few things that doesn't happen to Mario or Luigi in this game. It's so fucked up. You've got to do it.
I have to.
I'm
totally,
like looking at like the CVs and stuff for it. It's like it's so well drawn. It's so lovingly drawn,
It's
but it's like
really good. They even got Mario like
and Luigi
super on model.
choking.
And it's
I
it's really long too. Is the crazy?
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
is it's not just like a 2-hour shit post or anything.
No,
like that.
it's like long because it's
really
so
long.
many chapters. Yeah,
They
I don't know if you'd
invested.
ever finish it, but God.
I
guess
just
I'm
remember
not
watching like
watching.
Markiplier for it and shit. Peter, thank you so much. Wow, thank you so much for the $25. What
Come
the
on, you
heck? I don't
stupid.
even
I
know
keep
what to
following
say.
these fucking
Peter,
guys'
you're
heads.
spoiling me
These
way
guys
too
suck.
much. Thank you. Wow.
This is gonna be really bad.
Also, Infinite.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Call Put Call Rub. Oh!
Plus, there's like lag to it too.
No, you guys are going down. No Johns. No Johns.
These clouds look incredibly fluffy though. I don't like the float time on the jump.
Oh my god.
No, it's messed up. It's literally Mario, and they forgot how to make a jumping mechanic.
Yeah,
in a
this is
game.
awful feeling.
But I want to eat those clouds a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say the clouds look very delicious.
They look like they would be really good spread on a croissant.
Oh yeah. Oh my God! Come
It's
on,
like
you
hummus.
son of a bitch.
No, I've never tried hummus.
You never
What?
tried hummus? Shut up.
Nah.
Really?
But you
Oh my
had couch
God.
cheese?
Yeah. Wait, why'd you guys are like at 10
What the
yards? I'm at like
fuck?
100.
Yeah,
What's
how
wrong?
did you get so
I don't know, you got
high up?
100.
How did you
Dude.
platform so good?
I'm
He's cheating.
just Luigi, dog.
Just Luigi, man.
I think
Luigi,
Donkey Kong
dog.
was broken on that map. I don't know. It's just
He
that's
looks so
weird.
sad when he loses.
Yeah.
'Cause he's a monkey. He doesn't understand good sportsmanship.
He just understands he doesn't get banana.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you
so
don't
get
sad.
banana.
Like, what if he doesn't get a banana if he
Sad
doesn't
day.
win?
He gets punished, and he
No
just
banana for
doesn't
you.
understand why. He can't comprehend it. It was because he lost at a party.
It's terrible.
What if I kill? I take banana?
No banana. Banana.
Well, not to bring up the monkey that could walk upright again, but
Yeah.
okay, so there was a monkey that could walk perfectly upright, right? And this was in the early day, back when you could exploit a monkey. And
Wait, the
he
early
would
days of
smoke
what?
cigarettes. And they would they took it they told this fabulous story about how they took him to Japan and they gave him a liter of beer and he just chugged it and then let out a big burp and he was so happy. But then they took him to he got took to a chimp center, oh, you've lived your life, you can just relax now,
Yeah.
and he probably couldn't smoke cigarettes or drink beer when he was there. And it's what if he really enjoyed that and he just
Yeah.
never understood why he didn't get to have those things anymore?
Yeah. he
he's a
probably
monkey.
really
He's never
did.
gonna comprehend it. He's
Yeah,
never gonna
he
understand.
doesn't comprehend. He just knows he was getting something that made him feel good, and then they took it away.
He's gonna be chasing that dragon
Well,
for the
it's
next
worse if he's an addict because then he's suffering through withdrawals.
He starts picking up sticks and shit, trying to smoke it.
yeah, trying to smoke them.
Oh, that's so sad. I've never even considered addict monkey. That's really sad. Oh my god, humans have done so many horrible things, but I
Yeah,
didn't think
it's
making
let
a
him
monkey an
have his
addict
beer
one.
and cigs. It's been
Yeah.
that
He's at
many
the end
years.
of his life anyway. You know what I
It's
mean?
been that many years. Let him
I
have it. It's
know.
basically I don't know.
Give him weed
It's like
too.
taking grandma's cigarettes away.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't
Just
feel
let
right.
grandma have her cigarettes.
Yeah.
Not when she's hooked up to her oxygen though. She's got to unplug first.
Give the monkey oxygen too. Have you guys ever seen that video of the chimp under anesthesia or the orangutan or whatever it is?
Oh,
And
my-
he's
did
just
he get
laying
silly?
there. No, he's just
Oh,
laying there. He has a breather on, and it's the saddest but the most funny image ever.
Oh, yeah. I can see the picture of the meme in my mind.
Yeah, it's so funny. I don't know why I think it's the funniest thing
It
in the
sounds
world.
really funny.
Because it just looks so it's literally
Hey, y'all
my
little sussy
final
bonkers are
word
gonna
to
make
save the
me
world
act up.
goodbye,
Yeah.
basically.
Exactly, it's just so serious and human too. Oh my god, thank you so much, Roted 666 for being a good subby bitch.
And they're supporting his head.
Thank you guys so much for joining the cult.
I'm dying.
I know,
Monkey.
he's so dehydrated. I want to give him a little bit of water.
Here.
He's
That's
like,
me
"Oh."
waking up at 3 a.m. ready
That
to get
was
the
all of us
coldest.
this morning.
Yeah, ready to get the coldest, tallest glass of water ever. Like the water from the water boy that's like glowing in blue. That's like
dude,
3 a.m. water.
Ludacris went to the glaciers and drank the glacier water.
Oh my god. With like the
I'm
glacier
so
worms?
jealous. Not the glacier worms, but everybody was like editing that like under his clip.
Dude, the glacier worms scare the shit out of me.
I can
glacier
imagine.
They're just like creatures that live in like really cold temperatures, and they're just stop going for me, Goose. I don't even know how to play this anymore. You are.
No.
Oh, I'm so bad.
I keep accidentally
What is
going
this?
to one corner.
I can't do.
Yeah.
Really
Oh my
hard.
god, I have to like press it like an hour in advance. Hold on.
That's his ass. Stop shooting me! I see you.
You
I'm
should've
not shooting-
You should have pushed the button before the collab started.
Yeah, I should have. I really should have.
Okay, it looks like Goose is on his last leg. There you go. We can kill him.
I just like barely dodged Goose. That was crazy. Like literally, ultra
I got killed.
instinct.
Ah! Kill that monkey!
Oh my god.
I'm getting punished for my monkey cheese story or whatever I talked about.
Mr.
Monkey
Obama,
cheese, you're
please
just
kill
making
that
shit up
monkey.
now. That's crazy.
I'm making
Mr.
stories.
Obama, please kill that ape.
Drone strike that ape.
Oh my god, it's so hard.
Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. We're gonna go at this for the next 3 hours, actually.
Isn't that what happened in like
Actually,
This is for your own leisure. But look at that water.
No.
That's so delicious.
He goes like, oh, like he just makes like a inhuman, delicious sounding grunt.
He does. He does. No way. Oh my god. Oh
That was so
my
hard.
god.
Jeez, that was so hard. That was a pain in the ass.
Wow.
That's horrible.
That bullet bill felt so good though.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just like crazy. That's a scary video because it like cuts off as soon as he tastes it. Like what you don't see off camera.
Well,
he
that's
turns into,
right
like, a
before the worm
fingerling.
gets him. The
Yeah, I
worm,
know.
the
It like gets
worm
torn
rises
apart
up.
from the inside.
It's like a chest burster, but it just like
Yeah,
splits down the
exactly.
middle.
This is such a weird video.
I've never
turns-
tasted fresh glacier. Why did he bother? Like what?
He got infected with those
bats and
plagas.
animals still piss in that, even if it looks clear.
Yeah, I was about to
I
say like the
mean-
penguin taking a shit right next to him. Like
Oh
yeah,
god.
real fresh. Like
Oh,
Gil says,
yeah,
Goose, you watch people drink radioactive Chernobyl water. Yeah,
shit was
that
sick.
shit made
That
me
was
so
awesome.
angry. That made me so
Oh my
mad.
god, it pissed Choco off so much. Like there's this guy who just went to Chernobyl and there's like water here and apparently it's like good to drink. And then he just drank it because a bunch of strangers like from Chernobyl said, yeah, you can drink it. It was like
What's crazy is it wasn't just like water in like a river or whatever. It was water that's
In a
been
building.
standing inside of like, it was like a factory. And the
Ew.
factory was just kind of like rubble.
That was straight from the elephant's foot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight from the
Jeez.
elephant's foot. He just dipped
Still
a cup in
water.
and drank it. Like that.
That's
I'm like,
so
okay,
fucked up.
sure. It's maybe
That
not
guy's gonna
radioactive.
get like super cancer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's done for. That's
I'm
so
like-
insane.
Even if it's not radioactive, what about like parasites and shit, dude? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Who knows what kind of like super mutant parasites you could get out of that kind of water?
It would be kind of. Oh my god, it would be kind of funny though if like when Luda went down to like get the beverage from his. What is it? The Stanley thermos? Like if he just fell in face forward, like that would be really
Yeah.
funny.
It does, like, it looks like impossibly deep. Like, it looks like he would just, like, a video game. Like, he would just, like, fall in and, like, sink
Oh.
straight to the bottom, you know?
Whoa.
Yeah, like that's where
Dude,
the final
stop.
boss is, and you have to warp there by taking the hole.
Gotta
and
get the
then
iron
hole.
boots. So
Yeah,
you
he
can
gets the
get to
iron
the
boots,
bottom.
exactly. That's what a water
Exactly.
temple is.
Well, he needed a refreshment before he could go.
Or he just falls in and then he comes out in like a Tom and Jerry ice block.
My God, I would love that. Or you know what? You know what? He's gonna fall in and then he's gonna like come out on like the other side of the glacier.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my
Just
god.
a little tunnel.
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here.
Get out of
He
here,
falls
you
in
babe.
and like a walrus like grabs him immediately and takes him and he's gone.
What the fuck are you
He's
saying?
foodicris.
Chris.
that would like probably piss him off so bad if anytime he was hungry and a little grumpy, if you're like, all right, let's get Ludacris some food. Like, it fuck with him so hard. It just.
Stop, it's ludicrous. Stop. Crosses his arms and pouts. Oh, are you in a bad mood, Chris?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Well, I'm sorry for being so ludicrous.
Somebody said I keep hearing Fuda Chris. That's your fault for being a gooner, Chris.
You look sad, Luda. Are you ludicrous right now?
Oh, boo-hoo to Chris.
Boo-hoo to Chris.
Two.
I'm not gonna say that one.
I hope people really do that to him because that's kind of funny.
I hope
Also,
so.
that Rocky's standing on. I'm sorry, I still have it playing in the background because it's looping. It looks really icy. That's why I keep expecting him to fall in because, like, you can kind of see him lose his footing for like a smidge. And I'm like, oh, he's going down.
Yeah, I'm more worried he's gonna ruin his shoe to Chris.
You're so dumb.
You're dumb.
You're stupid.
You started it.
You suck. Yes. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you in this game. In Minecraft.
I'm winning. I think.
Well, I don't care.
Am I the
That's
green
just
character?
your privilege.
No.
Am I the green character? Oh, this
Wait,
one's
oh,
mashing.
shit.
Oh shit, this one's the button mashing.
Love
one.
mashing.
alright,
I
I
love
got this.
mashing.
I
I
got
can
this.
mash.
We got
You
it.
got
All right,
this?
all right.
We got it.
I
We
think I got it.
I have to fix something real fast. Wait, one second.
Oh, she's getting a position.
I'm getting my like disgusting gamer
Yeah, you gotta
posture
like
right now.
get like you gotta like hunch over.
I gotta use my middle two fingers. Hold up.
Yeah.
No
Faster
fucking
than me
way.
when I said I was so good and I even have my tongue out.
What?
How did you go so fast, Cokie?
Oh my god.
Well, I don't know, just
Koki.
Gooner.
Koki.
just good at that. I'm just good at that.
What
That's
the
really
fuck?
sick.
You're
I'm
built
just really good at
different.
that.
Oh
I don't know
my
if chat
God.
saw it. I don't know if chat saw it. We were all in like 6 seconds point something. We're all off by like 0.mm of a second.
Oh my god.
Woo,
That was
GG.
insane. GG. You
Said
like
you had your tongue out while you were doing
destroyed us. Wait, what? Who said that?
I think Neat said they had
Me
like their
did, yeah,
tongue
me
sticking
did.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like going while I did that.
You have to. You have to stick your tongue out. You know what's bad is like it got to
I
the point
bite my
because like I
lip.
have a habit of doing it. And then it's like I started like if I'm playing like a really difficult game for like a few days, like I started getting like a little like chapped spot on my chin.
Oh my
where my tongue would like touch.
gamer
you know?
chap.
Yeah,
On your
I got
tongue-
a
on
little
your
gamer
chin?
chap. Yeah, cause like my tongue would like it like
Yeah,
rest
all the
up
way.
while I was like playing the game.
Oh my god, that's like intense gamer focus. I thought you just meant like, you know, like cartoonishly up on the side or something like that. That's
No, I
crazy.
go like it's
You're
like
doing like the full Gene Simmons when you're mashing the button.
oh yeah. I gotta like bear down.
Yeah.
Oh wait, shit! I keep forgetting to use my item. I
Me
have
too.
items.
I did it last time too, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be out of item slots. I need to use my item, and I forgot to do it.
By the way, people in my chat want you guys to know that they're following you. Okay.
Good,
Thank you,
good.
guys. Thank you.
Yes. We love a follow. We love a friend.
This is me trying to include chat still, even though I forgot about them for a second. Hi guys.
That's just how it is during collabs. I always feel bad. I feel like
Yeah.
the most
Yeah, I
neglect
know.
ever. You know?
They're
I
like
always
sitting there.
like
They're
have to
like,
go.
They're just like sitting there, like twiddling their thumbs,
like sad little puppies, just waiting for attention.
banging on the glass.
Yeah.
What
Doing
does
little
Goose have
tricks.
tits? I mean, no. Why
Nostalgia
not?
said hi goose to Chris.
Goose to Chris.
Goose to
Vania.
Chris. Ludovania?
It's
Yeah.
funny though, because like, who's heard of like Ludacris in years, and what is he doing? He's drinking out of ludicrystal glaciers. You know what I mean? That's so
Ludicrystal
weird.
glaciers.
He's doing
Dude.
something ludicrous, you know?
He's like, I always gotta be doing something ludicrous, you know?
Yeah.
Damn, what has he done in years though? He doesn't make music anymore, does he?
He's got
I
a.
haven't heard of him in a while, you know?
He was like a British
probably
guy in
just,
the
like-
movie.
He really just invests in like Bitcoin at one point, and now he's like good, or he just invests in like shit.
Probably.
Probably one of those guys.
Like when 50
Yeah.
Cent made like Powerade, and he's just like loaded forever.
He made Powerade? What do you mean?
Yeah, he owns Powerade, the company, doesn't he?
What? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't do
Goose owned
that.
Powerade?
Yeah.
No.
That's why he's so fucking loaded. I thought he did.
Goose just
Wait,
out here
let's look it up.
making up
Who-
facts on the
Who
fly.
owns Powerade? I wouldn't be surprised. Sometimes the Coca-Cola company owns Powerade.
Well, yeah, he's part of the Coca-Cola company. 50 Cola.
50 cola.
Hey, your little sussy vodka's looking
Oh, birthday! Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. What the heck? Hold on. God, I think I should just use my double dice block from way back here.
Double dice. That's Peach.
Yeah. Oh, ludicrous.
If you were a woman, would he be like Ludachristine?
Hey, your little
That's pretty
sussy
good,
vodka's
actually,
looking
yeah.
backed up.
Maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
birthday, thank you for
Oh.
also gifting a sub to me.
Thank you.
If you were more licentious, he'd be Luda. L-E-W-D.
You literally, you
Alright.
just keep thinking about this, don't you? You won't stop. You just literally
You
non-stop.
rev
is
up
all
the
you're thinking
engine,
about
it
the whole
never
time.
stops. The motor's on.
Oh, I'm gonna wreck you.
Yeah, it's Donkey Kong's classic saying.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
what
wreck
he
you.
said.
I'm gonna wreck you.
I'm gonna get you.
All right, let's see what I get to do. I get to just I just get to run.
Yeah, you get to just lose.
I
That's
don't
what you do.
understand this. He's just a monkey.
I know, he looks so
mean.
sad.
He's like,
looks so sad, this little
I am the barrel.
Jumping ground pound.
I am the
Basically
barrel.
bullshit.
He only understands that he doesn't want to get hurt. That's it.
I know, that's so upsetting.
He's like
I like this
Godzilla.
characterization of Donkey Kong, where he's just like an actual ape that these humans are torturing.
They put a tie on him to make him look sophisticated.
It's true.
Me no like tie.
Alright.
Yo, kill that guy.
Kill that guy. That's so crazy.
Got it.
Good job.
That's so unfair for you. That's so
Yeah, you
unfair.
move like so
Literally.
slow.
Literally,
lose,
we
like-
just get to kill you.
I mean, the
That's
monkey
like-
doesn't know what he signed up for. Let's be real.
No, there's like this
Yeah.
other stupid minigame where like one character's on a skateboard and then everybody else is like ground pounding a cloud, I guess. And like the skateboard wins every single time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes there's just games like that where it's absolutely just stacked against you. Oh no, items!
Yeah.
No, I'm such an idiot.
No, you can back out. You can
Yeah, go back,
out.
go back.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, it's too late.
Oh.
I've committed.
Ugh.
It's fine, and it's an item space. That's okay. Let's see what I
Rad.
get. It's fine. I'm just
Probably
gonna
nothing
throw-
because you have 3 slots used
Yeah,
up.
I'm gonna be wasteful.
Oh no, look. Can you take the baby? Can you
Wasteful,
steal
not demure.
Bowser's child?
I think you get punished for that.
Oh.
I mean, I took.
Oh no, he's having trauma because he was just in a barrel and he just got
Here.
beaten.
Oh god.
What's in here?
Oh wow, that's
Coins?
literally so good. That's a plunder
Yeah.
chest.
I don't know what's in the chest.
You open it up and Ludacris is inside.
Sick. Well, it is. Okay, I see what it is. You steal an item from somebody. I guess I'll just like.
He's
I'm not
thinking.
anywhere near those skeleton
Yeah.
keys.
I like the sounds of you thinking with Donkey Kong scratching his
Yeah. Let me see here.
Banana and chest?
Get cigarette after banana.
Oh, you made him sound like Keanu Reeves.
Yo.
Yeah, I get a cigarette after banana.
I'm thinking I should
likes
get
it.
a cigarette. Yeah.
Do I want to buy something? Sure.
I'm thinking a banana would taste so good about now.
I'm thinking I crave potassium.
Wait, what happened to? What about that Sun Wukong dude? Like they're hiring people to be Sun Wukong in a tiny little cave, and they give you just like bananas all day, and that's it.
Yeah,
Oh
they
my God, I
like,
heard
they
about
like
that.
squeeze you into a rock and then like kids shove bananas in your mouth for like 3 hours
Oh
straight.
my god.
That's crazy.
What do I have to do?
And I think like they had to replace the Sun Wukong every day because he gets like radioactive.
Yeah.
No, just
he starts
I made
glowing
that up.
green.
It's It's like an actual experience though. Like it's like a thing. It was on Twitter like recently where like
Yeah.
it literally is just like some dude stuck in a hole and fed bananas until he can't take it anymore. It's really
Yeah.
very
Until he
fun,
can't take
honestly.
I've seen it.
He's like,
Yeah, at one point he's like,
All day.
oh. Yeah, it's
Wouldn't he
SSJ
just like
Goken
straight up
too.
puke banana? Like, my God, that sounds
That'd be
like
so Kong. Do I have enough?
Be puke Kong. Oh my God! Wait a second. I think I just realized.
Oh.
Was King Kong named after Wukong?
Oh,
Maybe.
Whoa. Okay, I didn't really connect those two, but yeah,
All
you
the
might be onto
Kongs are
something.
related to Wukong.
Why
oh my
is
God, I never
Kong
even thought about it.
like that's like a monkey thing? I guess because of Wukong. Then, if that's the
It's a
case.
monkey
It
thing.
must be. Unless it means like monkey or something. I don't
Okay,
know.
but when was the last time you met a bird named Kong? Huh? There's just not birds named Kong. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a monkey thing.
I'm not gonna buy anything because I don't know math. There you go. Thank you.
Wudakong.
Stop it.
Oh my God!
Okay,
You get the star.
apparently Kong means like glorious.
Oh,
So maybe
King
it's like-
glorious.
Yeah, Dad, don't get that song stuck in my head.
What?
Glorious. God,
What?
it's beautiful.
Is it by me or is it right behind me and I'm actually gonna slam? Oh my God! Ah!
Is it in front of you?
Whoa.
It's my time. It's
Oh,
my
so
time to shine.
glorious.
You reminded me of that the one like Lucifer. As glorious.
Oh yeah.
chocoVania.
Yeah. That's what they say after. Then-
Bye, Peter. Thank you so much for everything you did. Wow. I hope you have a great night. Ludicrous. Ludicrous.
Oh, there's Bowser.
He's so hot.
Look at you shaking. Are you gonna piss your fucking pants?
That's me in front of Bowser.
Go easy, I'm about
But you're shaking for a completely different reason.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be pissing.
Eventually.
Look at that new wussy.
I mean, if Bowser told you to piss, you would piss, right?
I mean, I'm not gonna say in front of everybody.
Come on.
Me
I
trying
don't
to
know.
avoid Bowser's balls. It's just not gonna happen.
Okay, I get it. I get it. Simple.
chocoVania water sports moment. Don't say that. What the hell is wrong with you guys? You guys have gone unchecked
Can I
for
body
too
block?
long.
Well, you stopped paying attention to them, so they had to start acting out.
Yeah, they do. They're like, we're gonna get your attention one way or another.
Yeah,
Quick, push Goose
motherfucker.
into it. He's winning.
Oh god, oh, there's two of them!
You're so dumb.
Oh no! No!
We just
That was so we all lose. That's bullshit.
we all lose. No.
You're trying to
bad.
fuck with me. Everyone died.
Everybody died because we're trying to fuck with Goose.
Damn, he robbed us?
Damn, 10?
Donkey
And
Kong
it's
didn't even
actually-
comprehend money.
I know, and he's already lost it. He's just scared.
I'm not
I
even
love
gonna
this
try.
characterization.
Down it in his hand with the coins in it, and he's like, "There was more," and he can't understand what happened or why.
I love this characterization.
I did too.
He's just the fucking. He's just an. I was about to say he's an imp. No, he's just the. He's just a little
Wow.
ape.
Wow. Is that what you think of me? That's
He's just
what
a
you
little
think of me?
guy. He's just a little guy.
You think I'm stupid, huh? I know math.
No,
Give me any math
did your-
right now.
you did your taxes this year.
I did my taxes this year.
I was really proud.
Thank you. Oh my god, I did all my imp taxes. What type of radiation is bananas? Imagine gamma, force fed enough you Hulk leap out of the hole and through the roof. Yeah! He
Yeah.
does become the Hulk. I should have landed on this, was my problem. I'll take that. Thank you.
You got the looted dice.
Oh my god. No. Okay. I was scared. I thought it was gonna make me land on the next one. Oh my god, 7! Wow!
Lucky you.
Uh-oh.
Luigi's going down.
Uh-oh.
Why is it me?
Because it's
Oh.
you versus all three of us.
He gets
I
the
don't know.
easy one on this one.
Oh yeah, this is sick. I'm
No.
good with this.
No!
Yeah. All right, I win.
No! No, dude!
Not easy.
I'm getting body blocked. That's fucked up.
No.
Want to get coins for these guys? Hold on.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, wait. Back, forth,
You
shoot,
should
arrow.
try.
We got this.
In fact,
No,
you should
you
go
don't
for
get
them
coins.
first.
I'm good.
Oh, I'm so fucked.
Okay.
Dude, what the fuck? Oh, thank you. Thank
Oh
you.
shit.
No.
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 Thank you.
No!
Oh.
Are you serious?
No. Hey, little guy. Ah!
Bro!
Wow.
That was really easy. It's crazy.
Hey, y'all little sussy bockers are gonna make me act up.
Oh my gosh. DJ Grim, Loki, thank you so
He
much
says
for being a good
aimbot,
subby
yeah.
bitch. Ah!
No, shooting down a line is really. It takes some skill.
Yeah, some real skill, huh? Real skill. You looked so
Items
skilled
this
just now.
Items this time. I remembered.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We have dice.
I have 2 square now. Now I could get 7, 8. Wow, I can do math.
What's wrong with you? I just complimented your taxing skills.
Hey, listen. I'm a taxer, not a mather. Oh,
I'll take it. I'll take the coins. Monkey happy good shiny thing.
let me try to eat it. Yellow banana?
Look, someone in chat. 2 + 6, 7? And the monkey face.
Shut up! Shut up! Ever notice how DK has retractable teeth? You can stop now. I don't want to think about that. That's
Oh yeah, he
scary.
does, doesn't he? Because
He
sometimes he
straight
can
up
like
does.
push his lips
Oh,
together.
just like real
You don't
gorillas.
see his teeth. And then sometimes his teeth are there. I like when they look like little plus signs.
Yeah, me too. Like classic
that's such a
Donkey
cute-
Kong.
Yeah, like the cute stylized, like old school art.
I love it.
Yeah, it's such a cute little characteristic.
Goose, did you say real gorillas can do that? What are they, like fucking xenomorphs?
Yeah.
Like they have like
Yeah,
the
they can.
tiny gorilla mouth that can come out?
Yeah, that's
Wait.
there's a difference between an ape and a chimp.
Oh my god.
Oh shit, whoops, my bad.
I actually like you brought up aliens. That would be actually kind of sick if like a gorilla went up to you at the zoo and like at the window. Like there's glass obviously that you can't break through obviously. But if it opened its mouth and then, like,
Obviously, there's
yeah.
glass that I can't
Yeah.
break through.
and then it's like it does open its mouth and like a tiger monkey like a capuchin comes out of its throat.
That's scary. That's fucking frightening. What would you do if that happened? You went to the zoo, that happened, nobody else saw it, and then like they couldn't get the gorilla to do it again. Nobody believed you.
I would probably just like double check and tap on the glass just to make sure it's not gonna break, even though I was told it was safety, like and it meets like U.S. standard safety standards.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
I would double check it a little bit and like maybe hit it with like I don't know, like one of those Stanley cups again.
Stanley Cup. Dude, those
Yeah,
things
just to
are
make sure you can't
adamantium.
escape.
Yeah. I have one right here, actually.
Well, I've never gotten one. I just know there's like a big. I guess like the fad kind of died with it. a little bit
Yeah,
about,
no,
like,
they're
the lead
still there.
tests.
People
I
love
didn't
it.
even know there was a fad.
Oh
at
no,
all.
people love them.
People went
Yeah.
ape shit for him.
Yeah,
Fucking shit.
literally.
Yeah.
Hey, shit.
Matrushka monkeys. Yeah, the little tiny little nesting dolls.
Oh, I never
Oh
played
my
this. What
god.
is this?
Okay,
Penguin.
pushy penguins.
Oh, this is Toho.
Fishy penguin.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got this. This is fine.
Oh, sorry. People don't know what Toho. This is Undertale.
No, we
This
know
is
what a Toho is.
No, I'm
Toos.
just describing it to chat.
Oh, of
This
course,
is like
because
this
they
is like
don't know.
Skibbity Toilet without the Skibbity Toilet, guys.
Yeah,
Oh
guys.
shit! Oh fuck! Ah shit! Oh god!
I'm just standing
Oh
around.
shit! I really and truly in Cerno's math
fuck, oh,
class.
fuck,
Oh fuck! Oh, I fell off the edge.
Oh my god.
Queens.
Oh my god. These penguins are so cute, by the way.
Very
Oh,
cute.
bitch hole. No, bitch, hold
No,
penguins.
no, 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 no. Wait.
Can we get back up?
I can't let
Can we
this
get
one.
back up?
I can't let this. Yes! Yes! Woo!
I died. Look,
You
they're
can push the
celebrating with you.
penguins. Yeah, they're like.
Oh, this is like the Super Mario movie.
It is, and then Bowser's gonna come, and then he's gonna be like, "I'm gonna fuck you guys," whatever he said. I can't remember. Jack Black, actually, like for the first time ever, I kind of was like biting my lip a little bit. I don't know.
For Jack Black.
Never before, but he plays Bowser so good. Everyone is like, he didn't say that. Yes, he did. He totally did, right? Back me up, guys. He totally
did he say?
said that. He just like whipped out his, power star. See, Gel heard him say it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I only recently saw the Mario movie because when I got COVID with my parents at my parents' house, like my nephew like came over and like I was like trying to bond with him and I was like, "Do you want to watch like the Pokemon movie?" He's like, "No, Pokemon's dumb now." I'm like, "What? What do you mean Pokemon's dumb?
Wait.
Pokemon never is dumb."
Pokemon's
he's
like dumb now. We're back in that era.
Yeah, and I was like, "What about the Mario movie?" He's like, "It's all right." And I was like, "Will you watch it?" And he's like, "I guess." Is there any? And like he was like really trying to like find something better, and I was just like, "Fine."
Wow.
He's like 6 by the way, and like I was just like, really,
Wow.
I know.
Oh my god.
It's like, it's
Kids
definitely
these
no
days.
skibbity toilet, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
you know.
He acts.
It's no skibbity, but it's fine, you know, if I have to deal with it.
Yeah, it's the
No
same
Max
nephew.
Design Pro.
It's the same nephew that I had that like he plays like Minecraft, so I tried to like bond with him, and I was like, "Yeah, like what do you like to do in Minecraft?
Oh my God, I
build
got
or like
one.
catch the animals?" And he's like, "I'm an overpowered janitor." I'm like, "What is that?"
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
And I'm
wait,
like,
explain.
"Oh, okay. Do you get to like level up into a custodian?" Because I thought we were doing like a bit, you know what I mean? And so I was just like joking with him. And then I go home and I tell my chat's like, "Oh, that's like where people grief each other and they basically wait for somebody to like kill like a boss, and then they go in and take like the reward by like getting the last hit." And I was like, "What?"
No
I was like,
way.
Like a
my
kill
6-year-old nephew's
stealer.
Yeah, my nephew's griefing people in Minecraft? Okay.
At 6? That's crazy.
Holy shit.
Wow. I don't even think I would have figured out. Wow, that's great. I wouldn't have
I
figured out
know.
Minecraft.
I know,
like
my little
6.
6-year-old nephew's such a dick, though. I can't get him to like me at all. He's so mean.
Wow.
Yeah, is he really 6 or is he 14?
No, he's like 6.
sounds
He's
14.
literally 6. I know, he's literally 6, so I'm just like, huh. I don't know how to impress him. I try, though.
Don't
Just
worry,
say
I think
skibbity toilet.
I
Yeah,
should,
literally.
honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like the lame aunt to him, basically.
No.
You should be the coolest one.
I should be, exactly.
Next time.
Oh God. Oh God. So we just have to try not to get squished. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 1940s movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's Charlie Chaplin. Yeah. Right?
Charlie.
Start.
Oh shit.
You're like
Yeah.
so quiet. I'm like,
Yeah,
did I get that
No,
wrong?
I
You're
think
gonna make fun
I
of me
think-
now?
I think that's correct.
Oh my God. Oh my
Maybe
God. I was like
Buster
2
Buster
cents
Keaton?
off.
Possibly.
I don't
possibly.
Whoa, Dick, I saw you.
No.
Did you push him?
She's trying to.
Oh! Okay.
I'm getting so far away from you.
You're also going for harder shape.
Oh shit.
Oh my God, why did you do that?
Oh,
Why
my
did you
depth perception. I don't know.
This is so scary.
This is crazy.
I'm like
can't believe you're
silent. I've
shoving
noticed
that
that I'm like,
big monkey through that little moon.
Anything. I could do anything I set my mind to.
that's a crazy sentence. Oh fuck. Aw.
Yeah, after a while, your depth perception just like doesn't exist.
I mean, I'm just
Literally.
saying, Donkey Kong is not the guy that I would be trying to go for the moon shape with. I mean,
Right?
look, he almost takes it all up.
His
It's
head
gonna,
kind of looks like a moon shape.
I had to go for the closest shape, and I would just make it work no matter what.
Yeah, he doesn't know what happened, but like he's just happy he lived.
Yeah, exactly.
All
He's
friends
wondering where all
die.
his friends went, though.
Yeah.
Aw.
They all
Wasn't there more
disappeared
people
one by
here?
one.
Oh
I don't know
man.
what this does exactly, but
You switcheroonied.
okay. I didn't know it was
Nice.
gonna select a random person. I never had a work block before. I don't know if that
I
put
don't
me
know if that's
closer
better
or
or worse
further
for me.
away.
Yeah.
I have no
Yeah.
clue. Well,
It's like it's.
enjoy my spot.
It's
It is
really
either
warm.
better
What the hell?
or worse.
Yeah.
Why is it so warm?
Cause I'm a
Smells like
monkey.
bananas.
Oh, I didn't mean to buy a key, but that's okay. He likes to go
Oh
to
my
store
God.
that he's a person and he buys keys at the Home Depot. It's just a weird thing he does.
He doesn't even know.
He
He
went
just
viral
buys
for
the blank keys. He
The
doesn't
blank
even
keys,
get them
yeah,
like
we don't
cards.
even. Yeah, exactly. He
Yeah.
doesn't understand. We just get him the blank keys. It's cheaper that way, actually. You can buy them in
Every
bulk.
time he gets to his jungle hut, he like rifles through them.
Look
And
how
then none
happy
of
he's
them do
having a
anything.
key. He's got so many.
He's like,
I feel like I have to keep the keys now because of monkey
Just
brain.
like he developed a story for them.
Key looks like banana.
I never understood why, but I love the fact that the key is like just a little girl. Got a little bow.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's
That's
really
true.
cute. I like that Mario personifies like everything like that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like, cute.
All this talk about gorillas reminds me of that one story of like that one lady in like Sweden. She's like a little old lady. She always like smiles at this one gorilla, and the gorilla smiles back. And then she like thought she
Aw.
made a connection with the gorilla, and then the gorilla got loose. And then she was like, "Don't worry, he's my friend." And then she came up to the gorilla and smiled at him. And then the fucking gorilla started pounding on her, killed her, like smushed her into a pile of dirt.
No. Oh.
Because smiling at a gorilla means that you're like intimidating them and you're trying to fight them.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
so awful.
Yeah, she just became red paste and like on the floor.
Maybe they should have like held the punches back a little bit, just to like kind of like be like, "You really don't want a piece of this, ma'am. I'm sorry." Like,
Do you think that the gorilla like winded its fist up like Donkey Kong?
Oh no!
They just punched her in a
Yeah.
red mist.
Yeah, he wound it up like beforehand. He had like steam coming out of his head.
Yeah, you can see like the sparkle. Oh my god. Didn't she didn't die. She says she still loves him. She
Oh,
didn't
she didn't die.
Goose.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
no.
I mean, thank God.
maybe she'll think twice about smiling at a gorilla next
You
time.
said she
though.
was turned into a red paste.
Yeah, no, I thought she was like turned into Loki from like the fucking Avengers movie. Just like smash back and forth.
4.
Yeah, she got better. Yeah. What Chicha said, she got better. She could recover from pace state.
The gorilla did the Omni-Man on her.
She re-solidified.
Well, like held her in front of a train. She's like a Dragon Quest slime now. Oh my god.
Whoa.
That's crazy. That's so
a good one you
cheap.
landed on.
I didn't even see what happened.
Oh, maybe you should like pay attention to the
Page
game.
page engine. Oh, I love this minigame. Beep,
Oh, this
beep,
one's hard.
beep, 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 beep,
Ooh,
beep,
racing. Slot car.
Oh yeah, you have to like slow down there during the turns or like something, right?
Probably.
Forget.
We got this.
Figure it out. We'll do it.
Slut cars. Line up, sluts.
Yeah.
Yay.
3, 2.
Oh, okay, 1, go.
Oh my god, we suck ass.
We all
Oh,
stalled
slow down.
out.
Fall starts?
Slow down, Luigi. I mean, slow down, Wario. Everybody, Luigi, do not slow down.
Okay.
No. Everyone else, slow down,
Bitch.
please.
God, there's so many laps too. Oh my gosh. I have so much anxiety.
Pokey, how are you winning? You were so good at this game.
I don't. No, I'm like 3rd place right now.
I thought, I thought you were done. Because you
Oh,
had
no.
dots filled up.
Oh no, it was like last lap.
Oh my god, Peach won. Hi.
GG.
Hi. Hi. I win
We got the
one.
golden car.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
just
I
a
was
monkey.
cheating.
Me.
My
You
bad.
think he could drive a car to me?
Here's how you have
I
2
do.
stars. How
That's
did you let
what
this
I
guy
was
get 2 stars?
wondering.
I didn't even notice. This dude got 2 stars right under our noses.
I am
Maybe
the
I'll get a
shit.
pity star for being a monkey.
Yeah. It's a star for being a
Most confused player, Donkey Kong.
Good.
Dude, you've
He's
got
just-
so many good items.
I know.
Because we let him go at Home Depot.
You're so cute.
Donkey Kong has in the bag.
Donkey
I hate
Kong,
this.
he just likes him. He just likes Donkey Kong.
He's gassing him
Yeah.
up. Because like
A
Donkey
golden
Kong
pipe?
flips his shit when he loses. So
Yeah,
Donkey
yeah,
Kong's
yeah.
gonna win it again.
Oh,
Don't worry.
Don't
Golden
worry,
pipe.
Donkey
Holy
Kong's the
shit.
special boy. Here, take this golden pipe. That's
Does he have
crazy.
to choose that over his keys? Ah, I have to get rid of one of my keys. He's gonna flip his shit again.
No. Just get rid of the box.
I don't know what he's
No,
saying,
no,
but I'm
no.
not gonna read it.
I think it's like double points or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's saying
something like
everything's
that.
cooler now.
Now that we're
Yeah.
getting through there.
Got it, got it.
So what does this do? Golden pipe, warp to the star? Wait, how
Yeah.
close am I to the star?
No,
Let me
you will warp to it.
You'll
yeah.
go directly to the star and get it.
see.
Yeah.
Where is the, what is it, Y to look at it or something? Oh, the board is Y, yeah. Close enough. No! I didn't
Press
need to
B,
do
press
that.
B, press B. Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you,
yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
supposed to be Y, not X. Okay.
You guys are so friendly. We should be like at each other's throats.
All the way up there.
This
It's
is
because
definitely,
we're all rooting for Donkey Kong.
yeah,
At this
truly.
point, yeah, the sympathy story, yeah.
Yeah.
He's underground player.
This
I
is
mean, the
like
underdog.
the least toxic Mario Party I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
Look at him go down the pipe. He can't even comprehend what just happened.
His eyes look really extra buggy too. He's like, huh? Okay, so Donkey Kong, you want to buy this because, yeah, I know you could buy about 8 keys with that money, but the star is what's gonna win the game for you.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you
you
gotta
can
win.
gotta talk to him.
You
You can
wanna
unlock
win.
the gate and you can talk to King Boo.
You can actually.
Yeah, and he can steal everyone's stars for
You
you.
can steal a
boy,
star
oh
from
boy.
Goose.
No, he steals from
Goose.
everyone.
Well, I
Oh,
think
for
you should
everyone.
specifically steal from Goose.
Why? What did I do?
Because you've got 2 of them.
Yeah.
Huh, looks down. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Get those things off my screen.
That's a wholesome Christian stream.
A wholesome Christian
Take
stream.
my coins.
Oh no.
He just like flattens the Koopa for taking his money.
It slaps him.
He mauls it and rips his face off. Like
It's 'cause the
chimpanzee.
Koopas-
Wait, I should use
Smiled at
my
him.
dice. I should use my special dice. Oh shit.
He sees
turns him
Wario
into a
and
green
gets like
paste.
threatened.
And because
Because
he's
his
like
teeth
just
are
as
out.
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like kind of like in a fighting stance if you
Yeah,
were a
the-
gorilla.
Wario
Yeah.
has one of the
Hulking
lips,
over.
so it's like not his fault or anything like that. It's just
I
like a
know.
medical condition that Wario has, and he can't help it. So he's like not even trying to be aggressive at the gorilla. He knows better, so he's trying not to like make eye contact. He's looking
Yeah.
past him.
He's like, I'm a fire survivor. What? What
No, a fire survivor. Like Fire Festival?
Yeah, fire.
Yeah, he went to the
festival,
fire
there.
festival.
Fire
Yeah.
festival, fire.
He lost his
survivor.
lips at the Fire Festival.
Well, shit, these are only 12 to the star. I'm gonna go this way. I'm
And
gonna
that's,
go
like-
this way.
Why he's like playing Mario Party this hellish game because he's trying to save up money to buy like the surgery to get new lips.
I don't even like Mario Party. I just need the money.
I needed it for my
Provide it
medical
for my medical
expenses.
Also,
did not mean
Danny
to do
and
that.
everybody else who's following, welcome. If you guys are following, put on your cult robes. You're part of the cult now, and you belong to me.
Oh, you look closer too.
Oh my god.
Bowser space. You're so lucky. Ugh.
Bowser.
All right, Luigi. You know what time it is. Put on the dress.
Right,
Oh,
that
God,
was
I
the
know,
ship
like-
from the movie.
Not
That's what
again.
everybody loved.
30!
Yes.
Alright, sick.
Wow,
Wait, did he
extorted.
just? He just took all your coin.
I'm
Oh my
broke.
god.
How far am I? 9? Triple dice it. I can't chance this. I can't chance
Hold on, I
this.
gotta turn
need
on my
the star.
AC.
She needs it.
I need this. Okay, we're good. Damn! 21.
Really cute that my dumb, stupid little cat sleeps next to the AC.
Aw.
So she
Aw,
wakes
that
up every
sounds
time I turn
nice,
it on.
though. I'm surprised that beer is not an icicle if you're keeping your room at refrigerator temperatures.
It's usually like 45 in here, yeah.
Woo! It's right in front of Princess Peach. Oh my god, that's crazy. You shouldn't
Oh
have.
my god.
Oh my,
Oh my god. Well, not really.
Oh yeah, you're right. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, how about no? How about you like keep your grubby hands off of my fucking money? How about that?
Wow. Spoken like a true elite.
Triple dice.
Oh my god, are you serious? You're actually gonna get there again.
Yo!
Get it! Oh my god! Mini game.
Oh my god. That giggle.
Shut
Idle toss.
up. Idle toss?
Yeah. Wait,
Oh, shit,
what?
this thing?
Oh, we just have to move. Oh god. Oh no.
Cool.
Okay,
Alright, don't
Alright.
worry, don't worry. I'm gonna win this one so easily. Don't
Donkey
worry.
Kong's gonna get really upset.
he's gonna get so mad. It's your
Like he
game, though.
doesn't understand it.
He thinks he's just in a wave pool. He thinks he's just at Hurricane Herbert at Six Flags. He doesn't understand. He thinks this is when they close the park for him special.
Because I'm an idiot.
Oh, no.
You almost had me like stun locked. I have to do 15 seconds of this shit. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god, yeah. You're
Bro,
really
it's not gonna
me up
happen
right now.
Not
Sick
with
with
this
it.
lag.
I'm sick with it.
This lag was not gonna make it happen for me.
No Johns. No Johns. No Johns. Okay.
Get out of here, Trump. Kill Goose with
Luigi.
mind hammers? Dude, what? God, you guys hate to see a goose winning. You
Well,
guys hate
I'm
to
the
see a
heel.
strong, independent woman winning.
Wait, who has items? Oh, okay, I can see who has items. Okay, wait, you got a dice block? You got a... Nobody has items, actually. Donkey Kong's getting greedy. That wasn't me, okay? I gotta steal your item.
You just caught him
my
scratching
God.
his ass. Did you see that? He was like really digging in
I
there, too.
know.
He
I
didn't know the
He's,
camera
like,
was
so
gonna be on him.
upset. He
Yeah.
was so upset.
He
Mario
didn't know the
can't
camera was
comprehend what just
randomly gonna
happened.
like... Yeah.
Okay, ain't bad. Ain't bad.
He's like, nobody told me it was gonna cut to me.
Unlock it. He finally used his
He's so
key.
scared. Look at him.
No, you
So scared because he never knew that the key could do anything. He thought they were just for him.
Yeah. Oh my,
Oh my
god.
god. She used the Luda key.
This ape literally can't like
This
comprehend
ape can't
anything.
lose.
This ape cannot lose.
Steal for free?
Oh, for 150. Okay, I don't have that. But yeah, I'll steal coins for free. That's fine. He doesn't understand the difference. He doesn't know what... He wants keys more than stars or coins anyway, so... And above that, he wants bananas, so... Can you actually fight it or not?
Yeah, you have to mash.
Oh,
Wow.
and then you get more or less. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, you just got so many. That's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe next time I'll be able to steal that star. Almost. Oh, he's so mad.
Aww.
He's just getting handed like 100 coins and then someone took 6 and he's upset.
Wait, do I have an item? I don't think I have an item. Do I have an item? I think you took my item, but do I have
You have
another item?
a
I have a custom. Roll whatever number you want. Wait, you know what number I want. You know what number I want, don't you?
King Boo isn't as hot in this game. Dude, I hate that they don't use his Luigi's Mansion design in the other games.
Would I like to buy something? Yes.
Oh, baby, a
You sound like-
triple.
Sound like the serial killer from Sounds of the Lambs.
You've been on that a lot lately. Is it okay?
You should watch it. It's really
Did
good.
you just like watch it recently or something?
No, I just really love that movie.
You just think about it?
He just thinks about it a lot. It's like, I'm gonna be just like...
Yeah.
Dude, that serial killer's my idol. He's like, would you fuck me? I'd fuck It's like that's
I
the
want to keep a
confidence I
woman
want.
in a well.
It's
Yeah.
True, it's true.
Luigi time.
Yeah, Luigi time. I'm broke.
Oh.
It's Luigi time.
Luigi time to go to the unemployment
Yes!
office. No!
I got the money.
Oh, I mean, you did get the money.
Huh?
But only 10.
Ew! I don't like how the hole opens up. I never
Yeah, it just
noticed
opens
it.
up and it kind of like spits all over you. Luigi's got like 2 black eyes now. With giant coins hitting his face.
Congrats! He's just lying there on the floor like Family Guy pose.
Wow, exactly how many I needed. Wow, damn.
Wow, that's so funny, huh?
Why'd you?
What a lucky roll.
Why did I?
Wow,
Because
oh
I don't
my
want to
gosh.
chance it.
Yo, dude, lucky you. No, you should take it.
No. How about no?
And the rich get richer.
He's got her eye on the prize. She only wants stars.
Half the price. Let's go.
You got a star.
Wow. That's just
You got
like
a
when
tax
rich people
break.
don't have to pay for their food because they're
Yeah.
famous.
You get huge tax breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
So far away from everything.
What?
What?
I mean. Alright, what do I want to buy?
The key's always a good item.
Nah, I'm gonna get a fleet. I'm gonna get a fleet. I'm gonna get a fleet. See?
Yeah.
How do you have so many stickers?
Because I play this game.
Okay.
Minigame time.
Wait, is this the last 3 turns? It's crazy.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, it's me and meat. We got this.
All right, let's go.
Eat the
Let's see
pizza.
what we
This
got.
one's so hard.
Oh
Pizza,
God.
pizza.
Okay.
Okay,
Wait, what?
move.
Gobble
Oh,
up
it's
as
Pac-Man?
much you can. Okay.
Oh, it's
yeah,
mashing.
I can totally eat pizza.
Oh,
I'm
God.
still.
Oh,
I
got
can
this.
do this.
Oh,
I can
yeah,
do
yeah,
this.
Yeah, I got this.
We got this.
This is fucked up. I love this one. It's so hard though.
I'll fuck him up. Don't worry. I'll fuck him up. Come here.
Is Donkey Kong okay with eating dairy?
I mean, there's a different zookeeper that takes care of him. I don't have to worry about it.
Chuckle, we got this. We got this. We got this. Is it whoever eats the most pizza?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Oh my god, how is theirs like gone already?
There's
There's a monkey. There's a big monkey on their team. Yeah.
And there's an Italian on their team too. This is like his natural habitat.
What is Wario? He's Italian. Oh my god, why are you guys like winning?
Because they're sick of it.
Choco, go, eat it.
I'm
eat it,
trying,
fucking eat it.
I'm trying
Oh
so
my god,
hard.
they finished their whole piece of pizza.
That's
How?
fucked up.
Yeah.
That's so
I was
fucked
literally
up.
pushing the button the whole time.
That's so
Yeah.
scary.
It's actually funny. I'm really hungry.
I know.
Ow, that one hurt my fucking arm.
Why?
Because I had to use my actual thumb.
God.
Oh, your real thumb, not the fake thumb that you
Yeah,
have on
not
your
the
left
fake
hand.
second prosthetic thumb that I have.
Yeah.
Isn't
Your
Wario
little ball
Catholic?
hand.
What?
What? What would that have to do with anything?
Why would that be relevant to anything?
Why would that stop it from eating pizza?
It's like, no, guys, I can't. That's too sinful.
I gave it up for Lent.
It's Good Friday. I can't eat it.
I can't have this Lent.
It has the anchovies. I can't eat fish on Friday.
Yeah, both of y'all's Wario is just fucking the Count from Sesame Street.
It is not the count from
I'm really bad at
Sesame
accents.
Street.
It's like a joke how bad I am at accents. Well, custom place or
One slice.
One slice.
Oh, slice.
That was me playing as
Here we go.
Dracula in Dead by Daylight yesterday.
2 days
Are you
ago.
a Dracula voice and everything?
Yeah, I was like, one hook.
Oh, good, good, good. Oh, here we go. Oh no, I want to use my item. Yeah.
Dude, say something sexy as Wario. Hey, what's up? It's me, Wario. My credit score's above 800.
Well, that
I
is
bet
like the
Wario
sexiest
does
thing
have
you could
good
say.
credit.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
he
would
does.
honestly. He seems like he's like pretty well put together aside from him like kind of like just henching Mario a little bit.
And his hygiene, you know, we don't talk about
Yeah.
that.
I may be greedy, but I don't want to fuck with the IRS.
That's just the Joker bit. That
Yeah,
bit's so
that's what you
funny. I love
Yeah.
that. It's like, I know I'm fucking crazy, but I'm not gonna mess with the IRS.
do.
I'm not that crazy.
Oh no, I don't want the key.
Haven't like celebrities
want
gotten
the key.
notoriously?
To just hit A and I didn't mean to.
If I had my item still blocked, I would steal it from you just because.
I wish you could. I wish you could.
You don't even want it.
Oh, you're standing next to me. He's gonna be eyeballing like the keys out of Wario's pocket.
I
all the
know,
time.
I know. Please
gonna
don't
think
get
that's
another
where
key.
his keys
What if
went.
I land on get a key? Okay, thank God. Okay.
Wario's like covering his mouth with his hands so he can't see his.
He's like, yeah.
And he's like looking down at the ground, being really submissive looking, so
Yeah.
he doesn't intimidate
He's
the
gonna
girl.
swallow the key.
Damn, how far
Donkey
am
Kong
I?
just looming
Fuck.
over him, breathing heavily.
Where is this shit? Oh my god.
I can just imagine Luigi saying that, looking at his big giant map.
Nah,
That is a
man,
sheep.
Where is these sheep? Oh, sorry, I was back to Wario. Okay, let's go. Alright, sick.
The person in chat with the monkey emote, what you have gives me. I could get another
No, it's not
star,
for you.
perhaps.
Don't.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on, 12. Oh, that would have to be 2 6s. It's not happening. No. 10, 10.
Get an 8,
No!
get an 8, get an 8.
Fuck.
No.
Four.
Oh, you only got 1 6. Better luck next time.
Shut up. Why are you like this?
It's your wedding. Why?
I'm just a poor little chocoVania.
Look at you.
Just a poor
Don't say
little
that.
imp.
Wearing
Look
your
how poor
Princess
I
Peach
am.
outfit.
Yeah.
I'm just a poor little princess.
She had to give money away.
Yeah, it's really hard for rich people, don't you know?
It's like when Jeff Bezos gave away like $2,000 out of charity and everyone booed at him.
That's awesome.
Minigame, minigame?
Yeah,
Okay, find the door.
yeah,
Move
that's
and
what
enter?
donating to charity is to Jeff Bezos. It's a minigame.
Oh, I hate this fucking one.
That sounds stupid. You just have to go through doors until you find the right one?
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
Hotel
basically,
Mario.
you just wait for
Ah.
like the first person who finds it to get it, and then just like follow them. That's the whole game.
But then you can't win if you're just following them.
No, you totally can. It's just super, it's balanced, I swear.
Okay,
This is
I
hard.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
figured out.
hard.
Once I was able to get to the second floor, I understood how it worked. Gotcha. I didn't know if it was like gonna randomize afterwards or anything like that. I get it now though.
You're like Jotaro, like figuring the game out as you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
Wario.
where did you just go?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Where is he?
Wait, what the
Oh,
fuck?
there's only so many doors.
Oh my god,
Okay,
he's
wait.
so far already.
Why is he doing
Oh
this?
my god.
Why is he doing this?
Poor Donkey Kong stuck on the top floor. He doesn't even know what to do.
He
or
got
where
out
to go.
already.
God, you guys are still up there.
What the fuck? I don't
You
even
guys
want
are
to
still
try
up there.
anymore.
Which
so this is
door
how you-
did I even go to?
This is how you guys win. You have to use the door.
Oh,
Shut the
thank you.
fuck up, Goose.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where
I
the
appreciate it.
oh. Is it this door?
Wait, which one is it?
I don't know. Yes!
I'm not paying attention.
I didn't know. I was just opening
Oh,
doors.
fuck. Okay.
You literally
Wow.
didn't pay attention to your own strat.
Hey, shut up.
Alright.
Luigi wins.
Choco, stop using the same door.
GG.
Stop telling me what to do. I spit
I have
at you.
I had an advantage because I'm Luigi and that was my mansion. I knew how to get around.
Oh, of course. You had the keys.
Yeah.
Don't say that word around Donkey Kong.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
I'm a monkey.
Yeah,
Look at his eyes.
has the keys.
His eyes.
Luigi has the keys. Get him.
Luigi
I'm
has all the
monkey.
keys you're looking for.
You say?
Yo, she's getting ganged up.
No way you just tweeted. No way.
What? Whoop.
Oh my god.
Way further. That's
Now I
the
can't have
thing
4
with me.
stars. This is so unfair.
I'm not even near it still. He doesn't understand though. He
You're
doesn't.
only 14 away.
He's
Oh,
like
yeah, 14
blowflute.
away.
Nothing happens in his like direct vicinity, so he has no idea what the fuck just happened.
He's like, huh, funny noise.
Yeah, he doesn't have the object permanence to know.
Yeah.
Funny noise. I blow whistle.
Whistle oog.
Oog.
There we go. All right, not too bad then. Oh. Key.
Triple dice.
He doesn't want these shitty 3 dice.
Wario time!
I'm so scared. Blow the whistle.
Ew, oh, all right. Okay, wait. Do I have an item? Yes, I do.
Do you think
I
his
do.
chin is processed?
No, I've got a key that I don't want to use.
That's the key to success. That's the key to
Major
success.
key
right there.
alert.
No.
Major key
Another
alert.
one.
It's still so funny when fucking DJ Khaled got lost in the Hudson River and
Yes.
it's like pitch dark. It's pitch
That's my
dark and he put
favorite.
like
He
I
looks so
think about it
scared.
all the time.
The fear of death was definitely in his eyes. He's like, I've
I mean,
been
it
trying
was
to call.
really fucking dark, to be fair.
Yeah.
No, it
It's like,
was.
I've been
yeah.
trying to call Future for like the past hour. He won't pick up. Somebody please
No,
send help.
My favorite part of that story was when he like uploaded a story. It's like pitch black, but you hear the motor running in this like jet ski. And he's like,
Yeah.
the key is the key to success. It's just like a key emo.
He just like kept he kept chanting it to himself. It was like his only reason for going on. Can you imagine if that was the last we ever heard of DJ Khaled?
No, it would be so fucked up, and then they just find his jet ski. He's like slumped over.
His bloated corpse washes up on the fucking
God.
beach.
Oh my god. Oh, that beef is so awful, but I'm like still really laughing at it. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Item shop. Don't mind if I do.
I like when he's like, life is Roblox.
Life will never die. Oh well, I only have 1 turn to use an item, so no point.
Oh my gosh, this is the last turn?
No, well, second to last. Oh, I got a key. Oh shit. Get away from Donkey Kong.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You better keep that in your back pocket. Oh. We're approaching the end of the game. He's about to flip his shit when he doesn't win.
No.
He's gonna shit in his hand and throw it at the toads.
Shit in his hand and throw it at the toads. What about that video we watched where that guy talked about how he like catches his shit with like toilet paper?
yeah. Yeah.
What? That's
What?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a guy that's like, what, you don't catch your shit with it, like, he like literally poops into his hand, but he's got toilet paper in his hand, and then he puts it in the toilet.
Yeah.
Why?
He balls it up and then he throws it away.
Yeah.
Why?
Why
I
not
don't
just
know.
not intercept? That's awful.
I don't know. It's
I think sometimes people do better, like if they have hobbies in life, you know, like.
Yeah, what's Donkey Kong's
Like shit
hobby?
catching.
Oh, Donkey Kong's hobby? Well, sometimes they give him like a paintbrush and a canvas. He doesn't usually get the paint on the canvas, but he tries his hardest. The zoo usually like auctions them off too.
he doesn't
What
get
if
any
he
of the
actually-
money.
Yeah, he gets nothing. What if he actually does just live in a zoo and they just borrow him sometimes?
Yeah. What if it's not even
This
the
is
same
his
gorilla every
enrichment.
time? What if it's like different gorillas every time? They just put the tie on
It's
them.
the same tie though. It just
It's different
Yeah.
no one's
donkeys.
gonna tell the difference.
Yeah, no one's gonna
Yeah.
tell.
What if they have to
Oh,
put them down
shit.
every time there's an incident, so they have to get another donkey?
Oh
Speaking
no.
of cages.
It's kind of
Oh,
fucked up to make
God.
Donkey Kong drop a cage on other creatures.
Did you know
It
that
is.
the Donkey
This is how
Kong
he
lore
hunts.
is not even like consistent or canon, like about who's all related and who's boyfriend, girlfriend, who's fighting, who's friends, who's brothers and siblings?
Yeah.
Like throughout all the games, it's like not consistent at all.
Oh, I got like
That was
3.
so ass. That was
That
so
sucks
ass.
ass.
I missed the
Ah.
gold one by just like an
I-
inch.
The gold one literally just like squeaked down under. I think I got 2. Yeah, I got fucking 2. That's
Pretty sure I got
awesome.
4.
Oh my
I didn't
God.
know I had 5.
No!
Whoa, me, nice.
Yo,
Damn.
me.
Wario.
It's Warriors.
Yeah.
Warriors.
Donkey Kong. Glacier Ice.
The demonic entity.
I got
Calidus.
2 sets.
Ugh.
Wait, since we're talking about that guy like catching his shit, what about like my favorite thing
my
that I've been
God.
obsessed with lately? Old people that are walking around in the supermarket and then they kick shit out of their pant leg.
Oh.
And they just keep walking like nothing happened.
Yeah, that happens. That's so fucked up. My mom used to work at a JCPenney for a brief amount of time.
What?
And there is an old lady exactly happened like that where she was going up the escalator and it like tumbled down the escalator.
No!
My mom was mortified.
Going down the escalator like dun 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 dun.
Oh my god.
She
It's
said
like a
it was like
slinky.
yeah,
Like
she said it was like she said it was like a cartoon like watching Mr. Hanky and I was so upset.
No! That's sick.
She came home from work and told me that story.
I wonder if they know they're doing it and they just don't care anymore because they're like old creatures.
I don't
Or if
know.
they even
Well,
can
they fucking have
tell.
a technique. They have a technique where they like shake their ass and then it just slides on their leg.
Yeah, they
kick
kick
it out.
kicking the pant leg is so fucking like nefarious stuff. Like, oh, there's another one.
Yeah, you just see that video where that lady's like arguing with that other like cashier and she's like yelling at the top of her lungs and then she like walks into the corner, takes a shit, and kicks it out of her leg and then walks away.
Jesus!
Yeah.
That is so like
Also, hi, Crispy.
animalistic. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was like at a Wawa. It was like I don't know.
Oh
I don't
my-
know
They're
what her deal
animals.
was.
They are animals at that point. Like they don't even care about being human anymore. They're like, fuck it, I'm gonna die soon. The
Yeah.
world is my
Wow.
toilet. Ow! They're like that little kid, like you taking a shit? He's like squatting over, he's like, yeah. Oh
Wait.
my god.
Where is it? You
Is this an American culture thing? Shitting your pants in the store? Yeah, that's about as American as you know, the red, white,
Probably.
and blue stripes.
You'd be surprised at how often it happens. So I guess it's an American thing. I know you see like videos all the time, and like my mom has a story, you know. So it happens more often than you think.
I guess
I'm
it's not in the
surprised-
UK. They'd be like, I went to the supermarket, now have me a shit. Are you serious?
Yeah,
You're about
yeah,
to get it?
No, no. Keep talking.
You motherfucker!
Oh my god.
Wow.
I'm still not first.
Yeah, but whatever. Too close for comfort.
Wow. I don't know.
Wow.
To you.
I better get a pity star, or else DK's ripping up the floor.
Dumbledore and Epiphany, thank you so much for following. Welcome to the cult. Put on your cult robe. I am winning.
So someone
literally-
chat said.
I'm literally winning. I'm winning because I'm here with such wonderful people.
Thank you again for delaying too. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Dude, anytime. We you know, we were just literally Goose and I were like, God, I hope she's okay. Oh my God. We were really worried
Oh,
about
yeah.
you. I'm
I
glad
felt
you're doing good.
So bad because I was like, I hope that they don't think I'm canceling because I don't want to do this because I, honest to God, want
No.
to do this, and I felt so bad because I had to cancel.
No.
It was like your collab, I had a karaoke collab that now I can't do for like a year now too.
No, my
So
god.
I'm
cute.
so
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of collabs I had to like pull out of that week, and I felt really bad. But yeah, it is what it is. But in about a year, I'll be better.
Yeah, no, we literally were keeping up. We're just like making sure you were good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm allowed to stream, so I won't like totally lose my mind. I'll only lose my mind a little bit. I'm allowed to at least work 20 hours a week, so.
That's good.
Hmm.
Final mini game. Oh my God. What's it gonna be?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna win.
Hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
After-
Oh, hot rope.
Can I run to the piss house really quick?
Oh my
I
God.
got
Sure.
this so
yeah,
crazy.
do it right
Yeah,
now.
I actually have to pee too. Can I go too?
Yeah,
Can
go
I be
for it.
excused,
Oh, do
Miss
you wanna
You
Yu?
guys are allowed,
before
I
the-
guess.
Do you want to
go
do it
for
before the game?
Right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a
Yeah.
sec.
Yeah, let's do it so we can have full pee control. All right, I'll see you in a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
no worries. So Goose, what's it feel like to lose to me?
You're not winning. Kinda
I'm
crazy.
winning. I am winning,
Look, this-
literally.
Look, I'm gonna spell out your demise.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna spell yours.
You know, that fucking ludicrous shit made me laugh so hard.
It really, yeah, ludicrous. He's a demonic entity. It's no, seriously, what has he been doing lately? Like, wow, why is he
Okay,
getting
so
toxic?
while they are gone, there is no pity stars. You set it to classic bonus stars, lol.
I know. I saw you say that before. I just ignored you so I could seem right, as always. Choco smooch Toad? No. Why would I smooch Toad? Crispy boat. Can I get a shout out for Crispy? I don't know if I did already.
If you guys don't know, Crispy Boat is actually very crispy and very boat.
Very buoyant.
Very buoyant.
Crispy boat is the boat that DJ Khaled was on.
Yeah.
And he got rescued off
Right.
of his jet ski.
He's still on the run. I'm
I thought you said shout out to Chris Chan. No! Chris Chan and their hubby Magic Chan Sonichu.
What? So they'd like Sonichu like have a new? Is that like part of the lore?
I don't know. That's crazy. I didn't know they got married.
Yeah, along with Mewtwo and Amy Chan or whatever.
That's Rose Chew.
Whatever.
Fake fan.
I would never stop making fun of like the people who try to collab with Chris Chan like a week before the whole like shit went down, the incest shit went down.
Oh yeah.
And they have to like cancel all those plans. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
of
what about
course you're
Smiling
happy,
Friends?
idiot.
They did that.
Yeah, but
All right, I'm back.
Hi.
Okay.
that would have been funny if he was in.
That would have been funny. We're just talking about Chris Chan.
Oh yeah, I watched the arrest video.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, we did too. Yeah.
I love how
Yeah,
none of the
yeah,
cops
yeah.
believed them because they were just like also saying there's like interdimensional beings they're married to and
Yeah,
stuff.
I love how they're like in the cop car and like lore dumping.
Oh my god, I was like, if I was that cop, I would literally like drive us into oncoming traffic. That's that was torture. He's such a trooper.
So who's your favorite superhero? Spider-Man. Well,
he's
Spider-Man
there
will
too.
return.
Yeah, well, you're gonna see him. You're gonna see him soon.
He'll be
He's gonna be
swinging
in New
around
York?
New York.
Why just New
Why
York?
can't he be anywhere? Yeah.
No, dude, like there are so many Christians at like cons, and I remember the last con I went to, which was WeebCon, that was like March or April. Like they had a booth and they like were selling like the medallions, and like
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the thing is
the
like there's like a
Christian
group
experience.
that grows around and they sell the medallions.
I heard that
Yeah.
like the medallions are like cursed and evil and shit. Like
Yeah,
people are like
yeah.
looking into them.
Yeah, like I think even if you get one, you just like
Your life
it
falls apart.
happens. Yeah. Like I know of VTubers who have like bought them and then done like streams destroying them because their life started going awry.
No way.
my God.
That's crazy. Goose, we should get one.
No.
You should get
Dude, we
one
should
and do
get
like
one.
an imp ritual on it. Like do
Yeah.
like a hand cam satanic destroying stream or something.
Well, we should.
We should do one
should
and put it on a
release-
Ouija board.
Oh my
That's
god.
what I was gonna say. Put it in a
Yeah.
fucking
See,
Ouija
you
board
can
with
talk
like glass
to
in the middle.
the other realm, you know?
Yeah. The-
You
the
can, oh my god, you can
interdimensions.
ask about the merge.
The merge, right? When's it gonna happen?
Soon. You'll see Spider-Man swinging around New York.
You'll see a Spider-Man too.
He's doing what a spider can.
That was the funniest shit ever, actually. Was it just doing what a spider can?
They didn't even
Look,
answer.
everybody got
honestly,
quiet. They're
though,
focusing.
They
Trying to line.
I'm doing so fucking shitty. They, you know what? You gotta give them props though for having like such a positive attitude through everything, though. You know.
Well, yeah, because they don't know that like they're actually gonna have repercussions for their actions.
Well,
for
you know,
once.
we don't talk about that part, you know. But the rest of it, you know, at least you know they weren't going like crazy or you know like lashing out the officers or anything, you know.
They knew they were gonna get arrested. They even
Yeah,
said so. They
that's-
were like, I know I'm gonna get
I
arrested
talked to the
tonight.
deputy.
I talked to the deputy.
You do the voice.
Whoa.
Oh, Choco,
chocoVania.
nice.
Thank you.
It's because you're
What
an
did I get?
artist.
Yeah,
It
nicely
transfers
done.
over like 1 to 1.
Mario Party game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this just means she's good at tracing. So
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, wait. Who's the first bonus? Rich bonus.
Rich bonus.
Oh,
that's gonna be you.
Richard,
'Cause you
yeah.
That's
have the
gonna be
most.
aped together.
Oh wait, unless that means.
Oh my god. Yo, Cookie.
All right,
So
that means.
upset, like he doesn't
Look how-
understand.
He's scared.
Like,
Look how fearful he is.
object
Yeah.
is over him.
Why float? Why float? Well, that's good. You guys are at least gonna get to keep your arms tonight. He got an extra star, so he's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeps winning. Goose got this one. Goose wins. Goose
Nah,
wins.
nah. I'm very humble. Oh gosh, me? Oh, I never would've thought.
Shut the fuck up.
We kept getting
Oh my
1v. You won in the title one.
Dude,
kept
I'm so
handing
good
it
at
to you.
this.
Oh, I don't know who's gonna get this.
It might be me. Oh, it's Donkey Kong!
Oh, why float? Two float. Why?
No!
Why
No!
Yeah!
No! What happened?
Why
Why did
it? Oh, did you break it?
It's
I
Donkey
didn't
Kong. He
break
flipped out. I
shit.
told you if he didn't win, Donkey Kong's gonna flip out.
It says chocoVania has disconnected.
Disconnected.
How? That's not even possible.
Did you get so pissed you left?
I no.
Dude, she
it's still
rage
going.
quitted?
You got
It's
so
still
salty.
going
Wow,
for me.
Choco, so salty.
Stop.
I
Oh my gosh.
Look on the stream. It's still going.
Yeah.
Did you hit it? I
That's
did not hit
weird.
it. I didn't even hit it once. I was hitting my desk
She threw it. Wait, why did I get chased off?
because Goose wins.
Donkey Kong's like pleading. Did you see? He had his hands
was
like
really
He's
crossed.
praying to the
It
only
was
gods
really
you know.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That
played
means
to
somebody
Big
at
Banana.
some point taught him
You
how
are
to
the
pray.
superstar.
Dude, I'm the
Wow.
superstar. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Is
Donkey
this
Kong
like a
was so mad.
pre-rendered photo? Like it just switches out the characters every time?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
it
like
does.
in VR chat of how you could pose, like do like a pose when you click
Yeah.
on something.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
I like how they're like,
They-
oh, we knew you had it in you, Luigi. We knew you could do it.
They took this photo in VR chat.
Well, everybody give
Yeah.
it up for Goose. He did a good job, I guess.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna win. I saw my competition and was like, nah, it's gonna
He
be
said,
easy.
I'm a good
Okay, I'm trying to be nice, asshole. All right, I'm trying to like gas you up, and you're over here
It
like,
said
yeah.
I found more hidden blocks than anybody by finding the only hidden block.
True.
Oh yeah.
Okay, do I have to like start this up again?
I
I don't
guess.
know. It would make sense. Oh my god. Look at you leveling up.
Level.
Yeah, no,
Fun.
you're level 100. You're sweat. How'd you not win?
Shut up. How'd you not win? It's Mario Party.
Oh,
He was
it's
using
no
Game
excuse.
Shark. He was
He's
using Game
using
Shark. That explains it.
No, you got kicked out. I don't
The
think you're
male
in the
would
party
use
anymore.
Game Shark. I'm making a new one.
Okay.
You gotta cleanse the luck of the old one.
Yeah. I gotta get the Chris Chan energy out of here.
You know what? It's because we were talking about it. That's what
Exactly.
it was. You earned Mario Party coins and points.
Is there new NFTs? Mario
No!
Party coins.
Dude, I would cry if Nintendo made 8 NFTs. I would
That's their
give,
next console. It's actually an NFT.
I would give up completely.
It would
on
look
video
like
games.
all of the profile pictures you could choose from like the Wii Shop menu or whatever. It's like make your profile, and it's like a picture of like Pearl and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. It would be so sad.
It would be awful. It would be like they're done. It's over.
Oh,
Alright,
new
I
stickers
made a
in
new
the
one.
shop. Wow.
How do I
Okay.
change my like profile stuff?
Yeah, how do I change my silly profile stuff?
I don't know. I think you have to go to the
How do you go
Uh,
back?
I don't know.
How do I get back to the
How do you
menu?
not know anything?
Dude, I only play this game online with people. I don't know. I
How
would
did
like
they-
to formally apologize for indirectly promoting the Chris Chan discussion. Wait,
Oh, it's
did you
okay.
really?
I don't even remember how we started that. Yeah.
Me either.
Chris Chan just kind of always is, you know? They're like an entity.
Oh, you go to
Christian.
Data House. That's where you change it.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Do I
think
get there
you could
after I get in the online
I think
play?
it's the second menu you get to it. I think.
Yeah, you have to be on
Second
single player.
Medallion.
Sonic.
I want to go to the data house. Let me into the data house.
I'm putting on a new title that I know reflects me very well.
Crispy boat. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. Okay, now you guys have to like
No
watch my chat
problem.
and
Of
stuff.
course, of course.
Hey.
Let me go to the data house. Let me in. Let me in.
Yeah, I don't know. Why aren't you allowed in the data house? What's happening?
I don't know. Okay, wait. Now I am. The data
Okay.
house.
They're like, I'm sorry, you have to win.
No. Come on. Let me see these new things. Yes. You don't have to walk me through the whole store. I just need. I don't know what my favorite Mario Party game is in the
I'm
series.
just
Shut up.
scanning it too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
they're like,
eh.
oh, well, you should really customize your card. I don't know.
I did. Here, eats a pizza in this one, and I don't care.
I like this because, and then I like the funny cake, and I also like, I like the funny face game, and
Deadly Duelist. Oh.
why does it just make you pick so many?
Bringer of Night. That's
Bringer Night.
that's pretty cool.
Oh my god, why do you have to pick 4 of these?
Deadly Duelist. Cheap Chomp?
Okay.
Actually, I like
Music,
this title
game
way too
records,
much.
encyclopedia. Achievements.
Okay. Now I'm ready to join.
Okay, how do you change title and stuff? Is it on the
You go
card?
back out, and then you'll get an option to edit it with like Y or something. If you go back out once you choose your games,
Okay,
it'll be like,
I see.
yeah.
Rookie.
Okay, cool.
Oh. Coin finder, treasured friend. Oh, you get an achievement for keeping the coins until it ends. I mean, the keys until it ends. Did you get that, Donkey Kong? It's
I don't
treasured
think I
friend.
did. I don't think I did actually. I think I got rid of my last key too. Treasured friend? Oh wait, let me check.
Treasure
Yeah,
Friend
Treasured
fits
Friend.
Donkey Kong so well.
I have to do this. Okay, hang on.
Treasure
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Treasure Friend.
Let me see if I have it. Treasure hunter. Treasured friend. All right, it's got to get changed. There we go.
Hi everybody.
Hey, welcome back.
game-
Now I gotta
Hi.
BRB. I gotta
What
feed
the
beer.
fuck?
I gotta
Really?
feed little,
You waited for me to
the
come
little
back?
girl.
Yeah.
No, I didn't wait. No, I just set up my like profile and everything. Now,
How do I, where do I change stickers? Or do they just show up on my sticker thing?
It's
I
something about a
think they just
shop.
show up.
More in the shop or something. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you buy them or like whatever, I think they just show up.
Okay.
There's
Well,
Toad Shop if you didn't go in there yet. I don't
yeah,
know
let
if
me
they
go in
sell them
there.
Uh-huh.
I would assume Toad would sell them. He knows what he's
Well, yeah,
doing.
there's lots of stickers.
Hi,
in there,
everybody.
actually.
Sorry to drag Chris Chan back up again, but their handle on Twitter right
Okay.
now is Jesus Christ Chan.
Oh my
Sonichu, And then
God.
if you let support, that's insane.
These are so good. But you
Chris
can't
Chan's
get the...
handle is Jesus Christ Chris Chan Sonichu. What?
What? Why would you buy the encyclopedia pages? I mean, I understand, but still, it's just kind of, you know,
So I can
nerd.
learn my Mario Party lore?
True.
Wait, there's lore?
Yeah, I guess so.
What the hell? So once upon a time, Mario had a party and he had to invite Bowser even though he didn't really like him. They weren't really cool like that, but it would be like too rude not to invite him, so he did.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
Shit got awkward, but it was okay, because, you know, they all, like, chilled at the end. And then Donkey Kong got really angry and ripped somebody's face off.
Yeah, turned her into paste.
Mario's having a cool-ass party with bombs and shit. Yeah, that's the lore. The most dangerous party in the world.
The most dangerous game.
A pulsating red pulp, that's disgusting. I remember when he could land on a Bowser space and DK could rarely show up and just kill Bowser. He kills Bowser.
That's so fucked up.
He mauls him. Not my daddy Bowser.
I think Bowser probably would lose to like an ape-like creature though, to be honest, because like they're really strong. You know, like think about like a lizard, like a crocodile versus a a gorilla. The crocodile ain't gonna be around the next day. You know.
You're literally describing Godzilla versus King Kong.
Hi.
I guess.
Hello.
Is Vera all fed?
Yeah, now she's outside.
That's great. I'm so proud of
So
you.
you might hear like cops and stuff. So my bad.
Okay. All right, we ready?
Not because Beer
Yeah.
did anything illegal. She's just the city.
Illegally cute.
There's a voice chat in this game.
No, so
Wait,
okay,
is it-
Nintendo has like the dumbest voice chat in the whole world.
Oh,
and
the
you
app.
literally have to download an app on your phone to use it in the game. It's so stupid.
Oh,
Just use
okay, yeah, because I hit
Discord.
L and R and it just didn't work.
No. You have to like, it's literally like, here's your voice chat. Just go talk on the phone on the
Just go
game.
talk on the phone.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a Pokemon game that had like voice chat? Like, wasn't it
Was
Black
there?
and White had? Did Black and White have voice chat, or am I
There's
imagining
no
that?
way.
Oh,
They
you know
wouldn't-
what?
That's a kid's game, though.
Yeah, it
Did
was.
they not?
And
I thought they had like some sort of voice chat in like certain battles with friends or something like that.
yeah, like there was like a voice chat feature, and it was like the shittiest mics in the world because you had to get like the little Turtle Island ones or something.
Yeah, it was like the Austin Powers Wii remote meme. Yeah, baby. The watch had voice chat. Wait, it just had voice chat like built in. The little like Poke Watch, the Poketch.
You could make Chatot say the fuck word. I never got to do that. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I got a Chatot. The little
Yeah,
parrot.
he literally could just be like "fuck," and then like that's what he says when he comes out.
That's amazing.
He's like that Raven from that one video. Fuck you.
The crow, that's my
Yeah, the
favorite thing
crow.
ever. He's literally my favorite critter. He just goes, "Fuck you."
Fuck you.
Fuck you. It also says that when you use the move chatter, so you just scream "fuck you" and it hurts their feelings.
Oh,
Yeah.
Meat, are you almost ready?
Wait, oh wait. No, I thought I was in there. I thought I was in there. I'm an idiot.
It's okay, don't worry.
Yeah, she just yelled at me.
Meat, are you
There we
fucking
go.
ready?
I am. I'm ready.
You're like that chat out, dude.
Yeah. There we go. There we go.
Oh my god, now I feel like the Costco guy's dad, like telling everybody what to do. You guys seen that behind the scenes video where he's like, no, what you have to see now is now you have to try the chicken bacon, then you have to say double chunk
so
chocolate cookie, okay?
He's like host. Is he like a madman behind the scenes?
He's like a helicopter dad, you know? He's just like telling everybody what to do.
do.
He's like, no, you have to repeat after me, okay? You're gonna say
No.
that's a boom, okay? All right, let's try that again. He
Yeah,
he
when the
definitely
phone's
gave
turned
me.
off.
He always gave me like the vibes that he's the kind of dad that gets like really fucking red whenever he's mad.
Yeah,
you know?
he gets red when
Yeah.
he gets mad. His blood
Yeah.
pressure is high as hell.
Exactly. He's eating too many chocolate chunk cookies or whatever.
It's the chicken cakes. It's the cholesterol.
Exactly. Yeah. Too many
Start
chicken
over?
bakes. Yeah, start over. I almost like
Yeah.
made us go back into that game and watch Goose win again.
Yeah, no, it would have been awesome. Now I kind of want to play Yoshi, because I want to see that like fuck face, you know?
You get the fuck, face.
face.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bestie. Fuck face is wild.
Yoshi's
Yeah, I'll be-
fuck face.
Yeah, that's one of his infamous games. They got kicked.
Yeah. That's like the European one
Yoshi's
is
face.
yeah, the British one
Yeah.
is Yoshi's coitus expression.
Coitus. Can we get a space land?
You guys know about that? Like Yoshi's topsy-turvy in the US, but in the UK it was called like Yoshi's gravitational something like that. Yoshi's universal gravitation.
How fancy sounding. Universal gravitation. That does not roll off the tongue at all.
Mother, I want
doesn't.
to buy Yoshi's
Yoshi's
Universal
universal gravitation.
Is that and that's Yoshi's cookie you said, or is that Yoshi's
topsy-turvy.
topsy turvy? Okay.
That's
okay.
so
Yeah.
That's so obtuse if it was just Yoshi's Cookie and they just had to fucking name it completely different.
Goose, you're about to show us Yoshi's Cookie.
Yeah, you are.
Where do you guys want to go? I'll let you pick this time.
You said Spaceland.
Spaceland? We want to finish it
Yeah,
on
never-
Spaceland?
I literally
That's what
have never
Goose said.
been... Is Spaceland bad?
Okay,
Yeah, we can do Spaceland. I don't think I've ever played this map either, to be perfectly honest.
let's do
I remember
normal bonus
liking it as a
stars.
kid.
I don't know nothing about nothing.
I'm kind of spacing it right now. I don't really remember it, but like... no laughter from that. Come on, I'm so funny. Look at me. I'm wearing a princess dress. Nobody's even laughing at me. It's crazy.
Yo, who's got the emo that's just like Yoshi shaking his little asshole?
Oh, that one's good. Whose
That one
is
is
that?
good.
I want
It
the
says
Yoshi
it's a
coin.
7 TV.
Yeah, it's a 7. Yeah.
Yeah, that's our 7 TV setup. I want the Yoshi coin, like the one with like the juicy butt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Spaceland
talking
looks
about?
crazy.
This looks kind
No.
of fun, actually.
Yeah, look at that Bowser space station satellite.
Oh, there's. Oh, I
Crazy.
forgot the popos in this fucking board.
The Popo.
Police?
Yeah.
What are they
Yeah,
doing?
it's the Sniff it
Space
Popo.
cops. Fuck the space
Oh.
cops.
What the fuck is a sniff it popo?
Sniff it, Popo.
I know, it
From
sounds
Mario
like
too.
Sniffit Pawpaw. Sniffit Pawpaw.
Look
It
at
sounds
him go,
like a
look at that little
Pokemon.
I just went to go to the space one because I've been into like sci-fi horror lately.
You have?
Yeah.
Is it
Ever
because of
since
your
you said
character?
Isaac
in-
Clarke.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
last
yeah.
night, since last night, literally.
Shut up. Why am I third? Yossi?
I'm just happy I'm not in
Stop saying
last.
Sniffit Pawpaw.
Sniff it, Popo.
Sniffit Pawpaw.
Why is everybody writing Yossi? Oh, is that?
It's the-
Is that?
Yeah, it's a new one. Gail added that one.
Yoshi.
Yossi is crazy.
Yo, I'm so glad I chose Yoshi. Now because of the fucking
Sniffit Pawpaw?
emotes.
Yo, do they have the caked up Yoshi coin as an emote on there?
Oh, what?
Oh,
Wow,
God.
that's so sexual. What the
It
fuck?
is. It is.
What?
Here's Bowser on the other side.
Oh, someone did that in
Okay,
chat.
come on, Luigi. I mean, Mario. I mean, Wario. 4. Do it.
What?
First, outside, no beat.
Like, what face were they really going for with that, like, art? Like, what
I don't
would that
know.
have really have been?
That's him, like,
it doesn't
pooping
help
out
that he's
an
also
egg.
like bent over.
Yeah,
You know?
he's
He
hunched
didn't need to
over.
be bent over. And
he's
like looking
sweating,
up
too.
and he's like
He's
slobbering.
drooling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And
That's
his
Peach
eyes
looking
are
at that,
up, going up.
Yeah.
Wait. I like this one a lot.
Oh my god, that one's me.
Like, he is so fucked up.
Ten.
Let's go.
This is Ludicrous looking into the glacier water. Wow.
God. Aw. I don't know. The cut it out too is pretty good.
Oh, what is this exclamation point I'm about to be on?
I don't know. An event.
Oh, that's the police.
Is it?
Yeah.
Popo.
That's bullshit.
Holy shit.
You're chasing us.
That's messed up.
Wait. That's not the
I
police.
just undid
That's
all of your work.
that's the criminal, and then you hire the police so that they can chase him.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Swamps are criminals?
Oh, yeah.
They're
Look.
hardened criminals.
Yeah.
Big jump. Okay. Bounce. Big jump.
Oh, is it time?
Jump and
you have
spin.
Wait, I
Jump.
don't get this.
Jump. Jump and spin. Jump and spin. Okay.
Jump and spin, jump and spin.
How'd you get so high? Oh, like
Like
that.
that.
Oh, I see.
I'm
okay.
not a good
It's like
jumper and spinner.
Beyblades.
Let it rip.
So I'm playing this game at an extreme delay, so I have to like do like a
No
full
jumps.
half second. John
sorry, I'm
this,
ready.
bitch. John this.
John, this.
John this.
Okay.
Braps.
Why would you do that?
This.
Okay. Oh god. Oh, I'm Mario. I mean, I'm Luigi. I mean, I'm King Kong. I'm one of
You're one of every character except for Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Oh, big jump and hit. Oh, my pussy's out. I'm so sorry.
They hate our pussies.
Oh,
No, Goose.
Way down down.
No! What is wrong with you? Why do you always do this to me?
Ooh.
That's it. No, I'm changing the input on my fucking thing. We're getting sweaty. No.
Input.
I'm changing the input. There we go. Now I got no delay. You're dead. You're done.
Input.
I'm getting sweaty now.
Nah, she's trying. And now?
I lean forward.
You lean forward?
Yeah.
So you really mean it.
Gamer stance activated.
She grinds her teeth when she tries really hard.
Grrr.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have an item? What is this gonna do? Okay, this is
It's a
fine.
mushroom.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, I'll get you going places.
Yeah? Like,
Yeah, that's what
where?
the dealer said.
All
That's
the
what
way
the dealer
across
said to Wario.
to space, to some ape space.
You wanna go to
ape
space?
Ape space. We're in ape space right now.
You wanna go to ape space?
I don't think I really want to go to ape space.
Pop one
It's
of
a little
these
too
bad
late.
boys.
There's already an ape up here. Like you should have probably put that in your contract if you didn't want an ape in your space.
That should have been in
Oh,
your ledger.
I don't. Oh god. Oh god. I paid off the police. I didn't mean to.
What does
Wario
that
would
do
pay off the
exactly?
police. It's okay. You're role playing.
I'm LARPing. Okay. He's gonna get those
Hi, King
speeders.
Stumpy. Hi, everybody.
We're such a little fucking narc.
I didn't realize somebody redeemed a sip.
What a
Hold
little
on.
sellout. He's like, okay, so like I know I do a crime, but there's other guys doing crime and I don't like them.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Two
got
wrongs
the
make a
inside
right.
scoop, but my memory's a little hazy.
Look, am I cleaning up the dirty boys over here because I need to take over this area.
Y'all's warriors are killing me.
I love how I just got 3. Peach is like, 1, 2.
Oh, he's a narc. He's not even a cop. He's paying
Yeah.
cops to get guys he doesn't want to deal with.
Yeah.
Your turn, Broshi. Oh, that's me. Shit.
Wow.
Hold up.
Wait, is the other Waluigi in this or no?
No, I don't think so.
Why is
Maybe.
he a sexy Tumblr man to everybody? Why?
What do you mean?
A lot of
have you
people
not
find
seen
him very
people-
sexual.
Yeah, have you not seen people draw him like super hot?
They draw him very sexual all
no.
the time.
Yeah.
No.
Why'd you say nope in such a like conspicuous way?
No. Shut up. No.
Ah, damn it.
Wow,
Sorry.
you got that mushroom.
Beer was climbing on my chest because she wants pets.
Oh, I see. Blame it on the cat.
Cat shot.
Kenny.
He didn't get a key. Oh god, we're all dead. Donkey Kong's gonna kill everybody if he doesn't get a key.
I'm about to event space again too.
No way!
Are you
In the
serious?
same spot.
Wait, the cops. The cops.
Didn't do shit.
No.
Oh my god!
Oh fuck. Okay, well they put us all the way up here.
We're all in Bowser firing range now.
No, we're never getting this fucking. Never getting this.
I thought everybody was horny for Bowser. Yes, I am. I thought nobody was horny for Yoshi. That's crazy that you'd think the internet isn't horny for somebody.
Oh
Especially
shit.
somebody that eats people.
Yeah, he
And-
bores
and-
things.
Yeah.
No, I got this, I got this.
And
Out of his
lays
pussy.
eggs. Yeah. Wait, so hang on, mash A and B to wind up.
Is it A and B at the same time? I never understood.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's the same or if it's like.
Because
like,
A and maybe it's A B A B A B A B A B.
I'm gonna
you know?
see.
No, it's at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I mean, we
Somebody-
could like restart it and see.
Somebody said, wow, who else lays eggs here and put a Cokie emote?
Yeah, what about that? It doesn't matter.
What is that? Is this one,
Okay,
is
yeah,
that
it's A
some lore I
and B
don't
at the
know
same
about?
time. It's A and
Oh
B
yeah, it
at
is
the
A
same
and B at the
time.
same time. You're right. Yeah, it is A and B.
All
Okay,
right.
cool. Good to know.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's. I'm a frog. What do you want? This is what frogs do. That's what frogs do.
Well, I mean, like, you're like,
Hold on,
you're like
hold
a
on.
frog person. Oh my god. Dude, I just saw how fucking fast Meat was doing it. How's that even possible?
I'm trying. Come on, little red guy.
Dude, I was doing it right in front of Beer and she was like,
No, you're alone.
I really don't think we're gonna beat the Meat today.
I don't know.
Damn it.
I don't know. Come on. Dude, my guy's not even getting... Okay, now he's getting a little low. Oh.
Uh-oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Me and Koki.
Congratulations.
Holy shit,
Bro.
choke.
Congratulations. Nicely done.
Thank you. This one required 2 fingers. That's why I,
You're only good with one?
Listen, just saying. Speaking of eggs, how's Ring Fit going for everyone? Shut
What
up.
does that have to do with anything?
Shut up. Don't fucking bring up my Ring Fit that probably has dust on it right now.
A 3. What?
Oh.
Why are you making sounds like that?
Yeah.
Dude, he
Wrong
said
with
2
you?
fingers and I went, what?
Oh my. She like made that face right when you did that. Wow, 2 whole fingers.
No.
She pushed him. I saw that. We got that on camera.
for free?
We saw
Hell yeah.
her push him first.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Move, bitch.
Oh, you
got
should
the
steal
most
from
coins?
Peach.
I should steal from Peach, yeah?
Alright.
Better mash that button, boy.
Oh, you better mash.
You got training
Oh, he's
for
licking
this.
that Yoshi Uzi. Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Aid with their coins. Oh, thank you. Oh my god, thank you. Oh my god. Wow.
You didn't even know you were gonna get him.
I didn't. Ugh.
Why does Yoshi shake his little ass? He's so like twink coated. Do you think Yoshi's a twink?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably.
come
yeah.
on, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, borderline femboy, right?
Really?
Yeah.
It's because of
Yeah.
the eggs.
They lay eggs.
Because of that ass.
It's because. Wait, have you guys
Oh,
seen
shit,
the
yo,
Yoshi
check
coin?
it
I
out.
have to know. Stop!
No, you keep talking about the Yoshi coin.
Yeah, show him the Yoshi coin. Don't pay attention to the screen right now.
No.
13?
Damn, I took
Fuck you,
back my
Goose.
money
Fuck
and
you,
more.
Goose.
Damn,
Fuck you,
and
Goose.
interest, and
Fuck you,
interest.
Goose. No, I'm gonna
And
find the Yoshi
interest.
coin. Shut up. Fuck you.
More like Yoshi took your coin.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna
Damn,
take
he even
Yoshi's
showed
ass.
he showed the ass to fucking Boo. That shit wasn't free.
He's like, are you gonna do me next?
Fuck, man, I don't want to. Wait.
Wait, okay, how do I copy just this video? Because I feel like it's really, like, important. Okay, here. I'm pasting a Reddit link. Try not to vomit.
Oh, this is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna be saying when you see the video.
Oh my god! I just saw the reveal.
It's so supple.
Oh my god. There's like a really defined line down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little crease.
Yeah, there's like a
Yeah.
little crease down there. Yeah,
It's
wow.
very
Cute.
nice.
Very cute.
It's very cute.
You know, it's so funny because, like, you look at it from the front, you're just like, oh, it's actually a really
Yeah.
cute Yoshi coin.
He's so thick.
Yeah. And then just out of nowhere, it just got, like, extremely horny for no reason.
Oh, I love
What'd
this
you do
game.
if somebody handed you that? Like
Oh,
they're trying to,
moving and
like, check
jumping.
out.
Oh my god. I would
Oh my
take
God.
it as legal tender.
Honestly, yeah. And I would probably pocket it and then say somebody stole $1 out of the register and I couldn't stop them.
What if they handed it to you and they winked?
Because they're gonna be mad that my drawer isn't balanced at the end of the night. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna
Yeah,
be furious
yeah.
with me. So I have to say somebody else did it, not me. I'm not gonna admit to stealing from the register.
No, I mean, technically you didn't. Like, that's not real
You
money
didn't.
anyway. It's like you're not
It's not
stealing
real
It's
money.
not real money.
That's
Yeah.
as real as currency as anything else I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, Yeller. Why'd you flatten me, Donkey Kong? Donkey Kong, he's drowning!
Yeah. Oh my god, Donkey, someone died, Donkey
You
Kong!
didn't understand the rules.
He's
He's like, I just want to
drowning.
flatten people.
Stop, would you?
No. I'm just jumping. I'm not even doing any harm to you.
Middle space.
What if you could just like ring me out like that? That'd be crazy.
Dude, I flattened both of you because of my fat sucking
Your
my ass.
fat Yoshi ass.
Yeah. The Yoshi dumpy. Oh, pink. That's me.
What happened? What? What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god. You pushed me
everybody
out. That
was
was so
happy.
nefarious.
Everybody was happy for Choco. That's what you get for taking more money back.
Like, that was my fucking money.
Not anymore. It was mine after I took it. Do you see how this works? I'm the princess. I get to keep the money, and you just get to keep like
Living.
you know, yeah.
All right.
Hi, Ouija Boo. Can I get a shout out for Ouija Boo? Hello. Holy shit. Yo, we rolling big out here. That's like getting a nat 20 in Dungeons and Dragons.
Do you think there's anybody ever in the history of Mario Party ever that has rolled 3 10s on the triple dice? Probably not, right?
Yeah.
They never would put that in the
No.
programming ever under any circumstance, right?
I feel like maybe. Oh, I should do this. Yes. Chase him? Yeah.
I don't know.
I might have just helped everybody. I don't know.
No. That would bring us all the way back, and that would be awful. Wait, what do I have? Oh, okay.
Yoshi.
Of course I'm gonna shout you out, Ouija Boo. You're cool. I shout out cool people.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't understand this at all.
Miss.
Oh,
Miss.
you gotta
Miss.
watch.
I
Miss.
see what it is.
Miss.
Can you miss it?
Miss. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's
All right,
pretty
cool.
decent, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Got it.
I like how like all these minigames look like Squid Game.
I
Like in the
know.
background.
Yeah.
Like they're showing you
They're
in, like, a
actually
scary room.
trapped.
Yeah. No, it's just clouds and sky. You're free, see?
It was like Truman Show shit.
Truman Show.
Except
Yeah.
like Mario is the one.
Mario
He's recording
show.
all of his friends.
Yeah, the Mario Show.
Wait, who has them? Choco,
You should
got
totally
32.
steal from
I gotta,
Yoshi.
Yeah, I was gonna say it first. Well, you got 30. I gotta do it. You got the
Wow.
most. You're royalty, okay? He's a gorilla. He doesn't know better, all right?
He's a Yoshi.
Dude, me and Donkey Kong share the same like jungle space together.
Yeah.
Wow.
He remembers. He remembers.
Wow.
I remember
You should
this.
smile at him, though. You should show your smile and remind him.
I'm wishing
No.
bad luck on you.
I don't have teeth.
Yes, you got
Jeez.
sucked
Oh my God.
off.
I got the worst luck in the entire world this round. Okay. I don't even know. Oh, bitch!
Oh,
Damn.
I
damn.
just stole those.
That money.
I
He's
just
like, I'll
stole
teach you
those.
not to steal. Bad boy.
I like that he looked around like, did you guys see that?
What was that?
Where am
Where
I?
did he go?
Alright, I'm a Koki. Yay, we're teammates.
Let's do it.
Alright, meat, let's fuck him up.
Okay,
Oh, this
we
one's
got
so
this.
hard.
Move.
Wait, how do you do this?
Oh, move
my
and
God.
press A.
Whoa.
Move and press A.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you have to send the bomb back to them and
Oh,
So you
okay,
get the
so
top
there's like
three,
the
I'll
beer
get the
float.
bottom three.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
yeah.
got this.
Yeah, I got the
Oh, yeah.
bottom 3, you do top 3. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
There we go. There we go. Bottom 3 and top 3.
Alright, bottom 3, top 3.
Bottom.
Bottoms up.
Bottom
And
there.
the devil laughs.
All right. Okay. Oh God. Oh God. I'm not cut out for this. Oh God. I'm in the
Don't worry, I'll
factory.
help you.
Oh shit! No! Oh, I already screwed up once.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
No, give it.
Overshot! Oh. Sorry, he moves like a gorilla.
Go back. Go back. Go back. Oh, they're all coming at once.
Oh my god. It's okay. It's okay.
Send it back.
Go,
Send
go,
it
go,
back.
go, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
I did rotten.
Fucking lost.
That's okay. It's okay. We won.
Apparently,
We won.
monkeys don't really make like really good like factory workers, and I do apologize.
Listen, we did
I'm
our
sorry. I
best.
tried to cut the budget cost by hiring a monkey. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Yoshi's used to slave labor and shit.
Oh no.
Yeah, look at him.
Look at him. Look at that ass.
He's used to wearing a collar.
Yeah, like that. And he looks like that when he does.
Yahoo! Oh, a star? Ooh, when no one has a star. Still
Yeah,
coins
nobody's
for
ever gonna get a
free.
star on this map.
Yeah, it's crazy. Who chose this map?
You!
You did.
No.
Yeah, rob him for everything he's got.
What
Yeah.
the
Grab
fuck?
that
Why
ass
me
line.
always?
You chose this map.
And you have 41 coins.
Yeah, that's true. You're really a big target right now.
Ooh, 9.
God, what are you doing? Are you like activating like some sort of like vibration frequency unknown to man or something when you mash
Yeah.
that button?
Yeah, no, my hair like it turns like yellow for a second, then I just start like there's
really
like
weird, I don't get
thunderbolt.
How did they describe it in Super? It was really stupid. They're like, yeah, all you do
It
is you feel this tingle in
on my
your back.
Yeah,
So stupid.
it really
Oh, really? That's all
reduces
you gotta
down.
do?
I saw Krillin die, but like I don't really care. But the fucking tingle on my back spoke to me.
No.
Yeah, cool. Okay, Koopa Bank. Just give that shit straight to Koopa Trump, I guess. I don't care.
Comp.
No
I shouldn't.
fucking way. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I can't even buy a star. This game is so toxic. Don't look so pleased with yourself.
Hi. How much do I need? 11. Oh boy. Yeah, all right. Yahoo!
Why is your name Big Bob's Bussy in chat?
That's Big Bob's Bussy.
It's
He's
like a
Big Bob's
legendary name.
Bussies.
Yeah.
That's like a.
It used to be Big Bob's Bussies, but then Twitch made him change it.
Twitch
my
came down
God.
on the man.
Oh, it's too
Yeah.
offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had to go drop down to a singular bussy.
Yeah.
But
telling
we
you
all
that's a
know he keeps
triple
a
S.
bunch in his car.
It's a triple S pull chatter.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's actual lore. I know. Like, wow.
Yeah.
I have the worst rolls. I've done 2 of
It's because you're a
once.
monkey and you don't know.
He thinks that's
You
the
don't
big
still
number.
know better.
Yeah.
He just like
I
picks
had
up the
2
dice and puts
bananas.
it down on like the
I
low
want
numbers.
2 more bananas.
2 bananas strung together.
Alright, let's see.
It took his bussy horde. I can't believe we're this far in and nobody has a star.
This map
Yeah.
is kind of screwed up.
I hate
Map's
this map.
nuts. I
5
know why you
coins for
chose
each
it,
of us
Joe.
for no reason. Absolutely
Shut
no
up,
reason.
Goose.
So
I'll go fucking
versus.
insane on you.
Which one is this? Puzzle party? Oh shit. Puzzling?
Oh
I am
shit!
so
no
ass at
way.
this one. I'm so bad.
Wait, what? Do we match up the colors?
Oh god, okay.
Yeah, you gotta match the colors. It's
Is this just
basically shitty
Tetris
Puyo
or-
Pop.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, you can rotate it, but just up and down, but not left and right, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Just
it's,
down.
it's,
Okay.
it's
It's a little
Buggers are gonna
bullshit.
make me act
Yeah.
up.
Okay, I
Oh,
got
thank you, Pygmy, for dropping a sub to pregnant lactating what?
Let's
Pregnant lactating
They actually-
Latinas. Thank you.
They got gifted a sub in my chat like for almost an entire year, and then they stopped by finally, and they turned out to be a complete fucking dick.
really.
What? Why?
The person that owns that? Why?
They
What
wanted
did
to get on
do?
stream with me because they kept getting like gift subs to my channel.
Oh.
Yeah,
no.
they were like, put me on stream, put me on stream. Are you hot? Are you hot? They were just like
Wow.
regular ass
Ew.
Twitch person.
Ew. Put me on
Oh, no.
stream. How about we put you on a fucking watch list, bro?
Oh no, I'm fucking it up.
Ooh.
Oh shit, I fucked it. I fucked
I'm
it. I fucked it.
losing. I am not Mr. Puyo Bob. Woo!
God, God,
Please save me.
I've been edging a sneeze for like the past 10 minutes, and it's
Oh
actually
my god,
killing
it's
me.
awful.
God, you know that feeling where you can just feel your nose kind of itching, and you're just like, oh, it would feel so
brother.
good. I know it would.
Yeah.
God,
You can't
please,
show weakness right now.
please, nose, please. Oh my God, please. I've been a good girl.
Yeah, now we're quiet, fucking concentrating.
Yeah, everybody got
you know,
sweaty.
you guys are the winner.
Sweaty gamer rage is happening right now. This is like the music that Goose hears when he goes like, I don't know, he goes and feeds Biru. He's like putting the food in the bowl. It's like this.
What? I didn't know.
100.
Wait. I didn't know there was a
Yeah.
point limit. I
Yeah, congrats.
thought it was just how long can you last? That's crazy.
How long can you last?
This is how long
No.
I lasted.
No.
What was that? Oh
Where am
God.
I? What was that even? Why did it just show you?
Wait, Jungle, why space?
What is this?
Oh, you
And
have
perhaps
to
what is
fight.
this?
We have to fight to be in the picture.
Oh god, in the picture. Okay.
Move, bitch.
Move,
Donkey
bitch.
Kong is gonna be really upset.
Do you think that they ever put a monkey on like a roller coaster ever?
No. So upsetting.
It would really be kind of like probably traumatic.
My pushing is just straight
They
up
probably-
punching.
Think about it like a lot. Like when they go to bed haunted by the roller coaster images.
And their own screams.
They
And
just wake
Yeah.
up. They just wake up in the
y'all
middle of the
little
night.
sussy vodkas are gonna make me act up.
12 whole months of chocoVania and all God
Oh
was
my
That
God,
monkey
thank you
wife
so much,
just, like,
Joey,
tries
for
to
being a good
console
subby
them.
bitch.
No
Like,
use.
no,
Pat
get
them on the
away.
back a little bit.
Oh,
yes.
Push, get out of the way. Get out of the way. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win.
I'm a good win.
You
No
sucked at
fucking way, dude!
everyone.
Not you again! God damn it!
Yeah, I'm the only one that got points.
Look at Donkey Kong.
He's doing ape shit. Sorry.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I won.
Did good, I guess.
I'm better than everyone.
Okay, fuck you. You did horrible. You got lucky.
My turn. 22 the star, and I got 5. I can live with that for now. Oh, Sniff's around on patrol, thank God.
Your turn.
I don't want to turn. I just skip my turn. 3.
Ugh.
Oh, I can at least get an item. Should I? Yes, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I could have got a warp block. Never mind.
Oh, yeah.
What is this? What are you doing? What is that? Oh, it wouldn't have mattered, I guess. You're gonna get it anyway. You're such an ass. Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm gonna drown you. Like frame 1. If I see you. Like you're just gonna immediately, yeah, you're gonna get plunged.
Why? They threatened me with death.
Just frame 1. It's on site.
I got a star.
Don't show up in my hood.
Where's it going? Look, it's gonna be closer to you. Watch. See? I was helping you.
Whatever.
Mm.
Sleep with one eye open, says Fono. Yeah.
No.
Look at that triple base. Thank you.
God, I can
Wow.
still feel a sneeze.
You should look at a light.
Yeah, like
Stop!
there's, like,
No
tricks.
fucking way.
That's the thing that works.
He's
doesn't
about to
it?
get a second star.
No, I'm not.
What do you mean, no, I'm not?
I'm not.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
This is a mirage. You need to drink water.
I wish you were a mirage. Oh my god, Boo, thank you so much for the 5 gifties. What the hell? Thank you, Boo. Aw. Whee!
Thanks, Boot. He gave you that because I'm winning.
Oh my god, Goose.
How generous.
I'm literally I'm plotting your downfall. In this game specifically. I'm Dr. Disrespect playing chess and you're playing checkers right now. I'm plotting on you.
Sorry.
You're playing my game now. Don't mind the really low camera angle. That's
I'm just too good.
21 to the star, or yeah, this one then.
Yeah.
Move.
I like how he gives this like thumbs up.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what's going on. He's just like, monkey do good?
This is good, I think.
Oh god. Later, skater.
Oh,
I hold it. Okay.
Losers.
Oh, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's
oh
bad.
no, I'm doing great.
Alright, I'll just move you.
Okay.
Okay.
All we gotta do is tank physics. Yeah, Goose will probably win this. Oh, he gets like the easiest spot too.
What do you mean? The inner circle?
Yeah. That's like the spot you want to be on.
How am I constantly pushing my button, but yet I'm still behind?
No, you have to hold it. You have to hold it.
You have to hold it the whole time.
But I am, but I feel like I'm still not going faster.
No!
Oh, look how... Oh. Look, but you got better because you played Resident Evil.
Shut up. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you.
How does Resident Evil help?
Yeah, how does that translate?
It's tank controls.
Oh, I see.
Gosh, I have been unstoppable. It's crazy.
You have.
I'm so happy for you. Specifically.
Thank you.
Couldn't have happened to a better guy.
I'm really humble, so I understand.
Yeah, just the humblest. Koki and Meat are like, oh my god.
All right, let's go. Oh, we got this. We got this.
We're having fun. We're having fun.
No, I'm having a good time. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Is this like for real or?
Oh, 7, nice.
It's real. It's legit real.
Oh, did you land on it?
Oh, here we go.
No.
May I have a coin? No. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, what's even worse is that you're gonna hit that event square.
Oh no.
Oh no, the cops are gonna
What
come
does it
again.
do? I'm so confused by this map. Oh, okay. I guess that just means you're gonna get run over.
Never gonna leave this area.
This map's crazy.
Guess it couldn't hurt at this point. Three,
2.
6.
How far are you from it?
Very, very far, Goose.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's not fair.
I hope you can get closer.
I hope you can get closer. Like that's gonna help anybody.
He's so mean to me. It's
I'm
crazy
like
how mean he is.
extremely fair.
I just hope you can get closer. You know, I just hope.
I just hope you can. Watch me pull 3 10s. Okay. Alright.
That's not like, it's not bad.
Well.
Oh my god, okay, that was ass. You pulled less than 1 dice block. I hate that. I would hate that when that happens. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. Haha! I like how he presents his ass every time.
He can't
Yeah,
help himself.
he's always ready. He's been trained well.
He's been trained well.
Yeah.
Oh, Wario.
Uh-oh, me.
Oh,
You're on your own on this one.
too bitter, lose it.
You just get to chase us? That's it?
I guess. Try to pop your rival's tubes.
Bye.
God.
Oh my god, I'm like on like a fucking ice machine.
I get it.
Yeah.
Hold on, see, I
What
can
kind of
break.
purpose would that
Oh,
thing
yeah.
have?
Just to
Murdering.
upset people.
Yeah, that's like the machine in that SpongeBob episode where Squidward like rode into like the big grinder that's driving down the street. What the fuck is that? Like, why is that a thing?
I
Who
thought it was
made
a
that?
rock grinder.
Yeah,
Okay,
how many
ooh,
rock
I'm
grinders have you seen in real
accelerating.
life? On the
Oh
street.
shit. Oh.
Oh.
Hey,
Hit
y'all
you.
little sussy
Ooh,
buckets
Don't
are gonna
worry,
make
I
me
can break.
act up.
I can wait. Ooh,
No,
She's
no,
waiting
no,
us
no,
out.
no.
I'm accelerating.
I'm decelerating.
Oh, I'm
shit.
decelerating.
What happened?
He didn't know. He got lonely.
Shit.
He's been in this
Yay!
by himself for 20 years. He got a little lonely, okay?
He couldn't handle like being like teleported all over the planet into space anymore, so he just ended it.
You know, monkeys are like companion animals. You know, like they need to be in like
They need a
packs and stuff like
companion.
that. Yeah.
Wario time.
Haha, it's a Wario. I got
Is
this
Birdo and Yoshi the same species?
No,
And, like
No.
just
Birdo's
different
not
breeds,
type
like
of
a
Yoshi.
Chihuahua and a Great Dane, like that, or is it they're different animals entirely?
I really don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. They're just like Nintendo's so coy about that shit, right? They're just like, no, that's Birdo and that's Yoshi. Like, okay, but yeah, you clearly showed there's like more than one. Are they species?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
the fuck is it? Teach us.
No. That's a
No,
Birdo. That's a
Birdo,
Yoshi.
and that's
Yeah.
Wario. I mean, Yoshi. Yeah, what is that thing? Oh, that's Wario.
He's Italian.
Oh, an Italian. Is he Italian though?
Wario?
Yeah,
I think Wario is Italian.
I think
He
he's
likes
a type of
garlic a lot.
Italian. Yeah.
he's the type of
It would
Italian.
be really funny if he's actually just like Swedish or something. Like he's like
No.
not even, but he just fakes an Italian
He
accent.
fakes the
No.
accent just to be like Mario. He's an Italian, but the eye is upside down.
Oh, I lost track of the one I was looking at. No, I got
Oh
the
my
shitty
god, you have a kid now!
No!
You're officially a mom! Oh my god,
No,
congratulations!
I don't want to raise a child with Wario.
6. Haha.
Well, you
Oh,
made
the
it to
Doom
middle.
meter.
What happens with this?
I don't want to land on that.
Every time you step on it, it will count down, and when it hits
Oh my god, that's so
0,
upsetting.
That's when the game's over. Is when it hits 0.
Oh, I gotta plug in my Switch. Give me 1 second.
Okay, okay.
you will. Oh my god, I'm fucking furious.
Oh darn, you're not winning enough?
Ugh. Wait, what? I didn't hire the cops?
Uh-oh.
Ugh.
What does that do? Does that just make it like extra far? Or...
Yeah, way farther. Yeah, just in case you want to go back to like where the star is and junk.
Oh.
Yeah, for free. Whose house?
If you...
I'm
if
gonna
you're
take him
gonna
right
do
back
me-
from Wario.
yeah.
What do you
Wait.
mean? Why would you not play it in handheld? It's a handheld game. It's a handheld gaming system. Why would you not play it in handheld?
Are people
I'm not
talking
playing
shit
it
about
in
it?
handheld.
Yeah, they're like, is she playing in handheld? It's a handheld system. I should be able to play it in handheld.
Who the fuck plays this in handheld?
Who's playing a Game Boy in their hands? You should hook it up to your TV. No, I know that's, but still.
We all got red.
Ooh.
Hot rope jump. Yes!
Whoa!
Yeah, this is gonna be
You
so
love
bad
hot rope
online.
jump?
They
I
knew
love
what they were
hot
doing
ropes.
with that name.
Hot
The
stringy
flaming
ropes.
rope
I
spins and
love
spins.
hot, thick ropes.
Oh no, he's gonna. Donkey Kong's gonna fuck this one up. He's afraid of
He
man's
doesn't
red
like
flower.
fire. Yeah, man's red flower.
He's afraid of man's
He
red
just
flower.
starts beating the shit out of everybody.
You've said that phrase like you've never said it, and then
I
you've
recently
said it
said
like
it.
twice a week, like
I
twice
said
in
it
this
because
week.
I was able to find a little joke for it twice.
yeah.
I'm ready.
Oh yeah, oops, that's me. I'm right.
Yeah, Donkey Kong was hesitating.
He's a little scared. He's
Still trying to figure out the controller. Just be nice, okay?
Yeah.
He's like pressing every button with his index finger.
Oh my god!
Oh, the lag is crazy. Hold up. No, that's not fair. It lagged super hard. Who's lag switching?
You're lag switching. Why is it always Donkey
On
Kong? I
myself?
can't wait till Donkey Kong burns his ass. I want to see him.
He's gonna chap his ass. It's gonna look like an Outback steak.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Oh.
Donkey Kong didn't burn his ass.
I psyched myself up.
Because he thought if he was gonna win, he'd be able to harness the power of man's red flower.
Wow.
I wanna be like you.
Your turn, Wario.
It's your toy now, Wario. It's time for you to win.
20, 21, 20, 21, 20.
Oh, 2021. That's when I was born.
Purple cat, welcome to the cult world. Ah,
That's when you first played Roblox.
that was when I was hatched.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Go chase those speeders.
Oh no, we're gonna get kicked back to the corner again. Oh wait, no, this is not the speed. Okay, they're just coming to be on patrol now.
Yeah, they're on patrol.
Why is Wario still ratting other criminals out to the police?
This might be the
you.
worst map. I think this might
Wario's
be
such
the
a
worst map.
bitch. I know he needs his medical bills paid so he can get new lips, but it's kind of.
Oh, no, I didn't get a key.
Oh no, you better hide it. Your teeth are out too.
No. You know that he's doing this to get new lips.
This map's crazy.
What if like he called the police and he just got his friend arrested like Waluigi?
He would do
What the hell,
that.
man?
Yeah,
What
he
the
would.
hell?
Sorry. 60 coins, man.
60 coins and 60 coins.
I need no lip. I'm so sorry.
I need new lips.
My little heart was palpitating. Look, I'm in the Squid Game room again.
Oh no, I know. It's very scary in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Oshi.
Oh, did he just go?
Pokemon. Let's go! Yay! Yoshi time! Oh, hello. Oh. Oh, okay.
Wario needs money for his BBL. BBL,
Yeah.
Wario.
Yeah, we need BBL Wario.
You can get your son as an item.
Oh, finally a
Wait,
number.
what?
Oh, you can go left.
Listen, as
I
Bowser
kinda
Jr.'s
wanna
mother, I
Go
approve
left,
of you guys
especially
taking
because
care of me.
I only get like pushed away if I go to the bottom one.
I feel like this
Yeah,
map
this-
is better when it's like longer turns.
Hmm.
15.
This one's still fun though.
Yeah.
I hate this map. This map sucks. I wish this map would actually crash onto Earth and kill everybody.
What? What is?
I'm
Oh
having
my
fun.
god! A fucking slider puzzle. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do you get hit by the shell or no? You're not
No.
No, that would be
Okay.
really, really mean.
No.
Though. No.
Doesn't the
You see,
board
like,
look like
checking-
crackers?
It like saltines, like somebody stacked them around.
Yeah.
Or somebody made Rice
Okay.
Krispie treats.
Come on now, Wario. You do the puzzle. You make it a mama.
I'm Wario.
Come on, come on, come
Yeah.
on. Your lips are riding on this, buddy. Oh, buddy.
I went so
way
sweaty.
he's finished.
I don't even
Peach
think
gotta
I was like breathing.
Oh my god. 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 I
Donkey
need-
Kong's
come
just
on, one
afraid of the
square.
shell.
One square.
He doesn't understand why the
Oh,
shell's just
somebody
running
son of a
after him.
bitch.
Get away from me.
Stupid fucking monkey.
Why ain't moving? No turtle inside.
Doesn't
So
understand
scary.
gravity. Oh no.
Wario time.
Wario. Wait, do I have an item? It was acting like I had an item. Is my son my item? No,
Yeah,
that's the
he shows him keys.
I don't want it.
I know somebody who wants it.
I wish I could give it to you.
Wait, Goose, how the
15.
fuck did you get a golden pipe? When did you get this?
Nothing
Listen,
happened.
How? How did you
Oh,
get this?
probably when you were getting up to do that thing and he told you not to look at the screen.
Don't look at the screen.
Excuse me? Are you cheating?
Well, how
Alright,
did
we're
he
gonna do
cheat if the
this.
game gave it to him?
He could put his secret code, a secret little goose code.
Yeah.
I have to get a fucking 5 or higher.
Wow. Was that the 5 or higher?
Yeah.
Game sucks. I want my money back.
It's okay. You wouldn't know what to do with the star anyways.
Really? Really?
What?
Well, she knows somewhere you could shove it.
Yeah. He's so
Up
mean to
Yoshi's
me.
egg hole.
Yoshi's like, I've never had a star up there before.
I could try.
Oh god.
Oh, okay.
Again,
Well,
scooted off.
Sick.
Sword.
I think Yoshi has a separate hole for eggs. Yeah, that would be his Yoeka.
Oh my god.
Definitely. Wait, 15's a star. It's gotta be that
Yoka,
one.
yoka, yoka.
That's like that
The
Pokemon
Doomsday
type
Clock.
game, right? Yoeka Watch or whatever.
yeah.
The very same. Alright.
Oh.
What are we doing?
Paddle
Ooh,
paddle.
Paddle paddle.
Battle.
Battle.
Mash and steer, mash and steer. All right. Okay, Koki, we got this. We mash and we
Go for it.
steer.
We got
my
this.
gosh.
We got this.
We
We're
don't
a
got it.
team.
We don't got it.
Okay, we can't hit the
We're a
sides.
team.
Koki, we're hitting the sides.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm trying to like
I
go
think-
down. Like, why is it?
I
Not...
think this is when we
Oh, is
where
it
we
because
win no
I'm-
matter what. Like we all win.
Oh, maybe you're one side.
Okay, yeah. Let's try to figure out who's what side. So I'm leaning to the right side right now.
I'm this. Okay.
You're good.
We'll figure
We're gonna
it out.
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it. And we get to keep our coins, so it's not like we lose no matter what. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
everybody wins.
Oh,
no matter
fuck.
what.
This is what happened to me on the bumper boats. This is exactly what happened. And my dad thought that I
Turn on,
wanted
turn
to
on.
get
Let's get
wet,
that,
and I
let's get that.
didn't.
Oh no.
I think the front person steers it. I think.
Koki, they're getting bags.
Yeah, we got one bag too. Also,
We got one bag.
Maybe
I'm
they'll
trying to
throw-
turn like all the way
I'm
around, but
trying
it
to
doesn't.
turn it.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, sick.
We got
To be
12.
fair,
That's pretty
yeah,
good.
that's pretty good, especially for like having an animal on the team. You know?
Yeah, I was trying to cat because you gave
Yeah,
me this
Wario.
monkey.
I'm winning. Gosh.
Not for long, Goose.
It's so lonely up in the top.
Your tyranny is coming to an end.
No.
Oh god.
Oh my God, Vixie.
Who
Thank you
will
so much for
win?
being such a good subby bitch.
Oh
Thank
no!
you.
What's
Wow.
this? What's he gonna
That's so
do to
nice.
us?
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Wario.
Okay.
Mario is gonna win.
I'm not gonna win.
He's
Yo.
gonna win.
They're gonna give you a gold pipe. That'd be funny. Oh, it's funny.
They don't give you a gold
'cause
pipe.
someone already got the gold pipe.
Oh my
who?
God. Oh, did you just want to strangle his little Elvira neck?
Only to see those breasts bounce more.
Exactly.
Why is he wear little like elf shoes and like not like work boots like Mario?
Because he doesn't work. He's an elf.
Aww. Well, he does have kind of like
doesn't
elf
work.
ears.
Yeah, I guess he does have elf ears, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I didn't really think about that. Mario.
See, he's
doesn't have
not
elf ears
Italian.
either.
He's just putting on the accent.
He's just an elf.
Something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, pop a
He's
balloon.
elf
Okay.
Italian.
What am I supposed to do with this? I don't want that fucking key. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, those were going really fucking fast. It's crazy.
Yeah, those first two were whipping.
Mario's like wincing a little bit because it was like right in his face.
Yeah, oh, he was scared. You know, it pops and then you get the little bit of blowback.
Oh my god, you made me think of that like video of that kid that had the balloon and then like he had like the little birthday candle on his cupcake and then it like popped right in his face and it was like a gust of wind. It was so funny. Should I? I'm just gonna go for. Do I want to go 10? I don't know. Let's do it. Mario is a Moz. What is that? I'm afraid to say that. What is that? Like a slur or something? Like what? What is that?
Yeah, what does that mean? I'm gonna go look it up on Google and maybe I'll get in trouble.
He's an Italian elf. Is that a thing though? Is there like a Italian elf history? Like, and is there like a lore of Italian elf?
Italian
You know
elf
what I'm saying?
history.
Like, is this like a folklore creature for them?
It is actually okay. So it is a northern Italian. They're also called Romanols. Portrayed as
No, that one's a
homunculi
slur.
with feline
Yeah.
features.
Oh,
Wait, did you say a homunculi?
Yeah, homunculi with feline features.
What?
They require
They're
to perform their
homunculi.
mischief. Oh, they wear a
really
cape.
cute.
They carry wear a cape so they can perform mischief.
They wear
That's
capes so they can
bizarre.
perform mischief. That's
Oh,
so
yeah.
cute.
Dude, that's him when he's Wario Man.
Yeah,
That's
their mischief includes
adorable.
they disrupt sleep and make objects disappear and
That's
disturb
literally
animals,
it.
especially horses.
Wow.
Oh, what the
Especially
prank they like to do on
horses?
the horses is they like to braid the manes and tails.
Oh my gosh.
What mischief
These are just
makers?
little guys.
What little mischief makers?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
you
Well,
just go
here's
outside
the
and your
downside, guys.
horse is
Here's the
brown.
downside.
I mean,
oh god.
you go outside, your horse is brown, you're just shocked.
So it says they are particularly attracted to beautiful young girls. Unfortunately,
Oh,
whom they tend
man.
to sleep and compliment.
No.
Oh
No.
It was pretty whimsical up until that part.
So Dr. Disrespect is one of those guys. Got it.
boy. Yeah.
Man, let's just ignore that part.
Yeah, they
Oh,
were
I got
really
it,
fun up
Keith.
until then. They're like, we like capes and mischief, and we like to braid horse hair.
We also like little girls.
What if they braid the girls'
Oh my
hair?
god. That's like that fucking commercial, that commercial of like that innocent creature that's like,
Oh,
hi,
yeah.
I'm Thunderbolt 49. I could shoot lasers, I could go really fast, and I could
Yeah.
send nudes to your kids.
Okay. Okay, Yoshi, you better pump this.
Yoshi knows how to
Oh,
pump
God.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yoshi, what kind of flaccid flop was that?
Oh no, I wanted
He's
that.
trying. Look at his little femboy arms. He can't really
Oh
lift it.
god.
He's not used to lifting a hammer of his own.
That was me with the hammer. Oh.
Do you think he ever like goes like does that face and like accidentally kind of like squishes an egg out?
I was thinking he probably that's his egg-laying face. Honestly, they probably just ran out of art, and they're like, someone should finish the art. Honestly, of him laying a big fat egg.
I'm sure someone
Yeah.
has.
Yes.
God, you guys reminded me of that like green text on 4chan where they're like, "Do you think like Yoshi gets embarrassed whenever he like poos out an egg?"
Yeah.
That'd be really funny. That'd be like really funny if he like. I would just love to
Just
see
got
like him
embarrassed.
poo out an egg in front of Mario and get so embarrassed. I would laugh so hard.
Gee, that would be just so
I bet
funny.
it stinks.
Yeah.
I thought it was when he takes his shoes off or something.
No, they kept saying they specifically kept saying poos out an egg.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like specifically use the word poo.
Doo-doo.
To do.
The do, yeah.
All right, what do we got?
What do Yoshi's eggs smell like? Haha, that's like hilarious to think about. Oh my god. Wait, how do we go faster? Oh, just
Oh
hold
god.
A.
Oh, okay. Just a fun ride.
We gotta like mash it.
Oh, okay.
We just hold it.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Oh no,
all
you're right. Oh, you.
I shouldn't have said
oh.
anything.
No.
Yeah, you would have like cleaned the floor with us and we're like, damn, you're really good on a jet ski.
I'm DJ Khaled out in the middle
Yeah,
of
I was
the
gonna say.
ocean.
You're the one that found them, yeah, in the darkness.
This is what he saw. He saw,
No.
he saw like the little like spiky fish. He was like dodging them.
Go, Wario! Fucking bitch!
No,
Whoa, Wario, you son of an asshole!
Oh,
son of an asshole.
son of an asshole. No, I just saw Wario.
What? You fucked up son of a bitch, you damn Italian elf!
Wow, wow. Let's not you know,
Whoa.
start hurling those kind of terms.
Oh, why don't you go braid some horses' manes, you fat fuck!
No fucking way, Goose. No way. Milliseconds again.
Wow, good job.
We're too
I'm like
evenly
hitting every
matched.
spike on the way. DK
We're
just
too
succeeds in the
evenly
lazy river.
matched.
He's
He's
just
in a
pissing.
lazy river.
Yeah, he's pissing and having a good time.
Big bastard.
Why is
make me
Yoshi
smile.
doing that little pose?
It's really like
It's
edgy
a
or
nice-
something for him. Usually he just kind of like pushes his two fingers together and like looks a little bashful. That one he's like feeling a little like, he's like, oh, I saw this like pose in like my game Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna be a little badass.
Alright, okay. Let's see. Come on, Wario. Bam. I know you can do it. I know you can do it, Wario.
Yo, why did you send me this
14.
image? What is this fucking image? I'm gonna post it in our little DM.
Yeah. Oh, he's so happy looking though.
He's pretty cute.
He looks so satisfied.
He's full and satisfied.
Oh my god, that's such a good Yoshi.
Yes. Huh, 4. Oh, it costs money? I forgot. Oops.
Yeah, it costs money to pay the
To pay the cops off.
Yeah.
Lucky space, just give me a star. Just give me a star, like, just please, just give me a star. That's like the opposite.
I didn't even know where the star is right now.
Well, I don't think you need to know, actually.
Think you need to know?
I don't think you need to know where the star is anymore.
No,
I think you've had your fill. I think you've had
Wait,
enough.
hang on.
I think like
Oh,
maybe
two.
like you have enough stars and you should save the rest, like some for the rest of us.
I like that picture you just gave me. Good.
That is you. Oh my god, that's you full of stars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big Yoshi queens.
and big booty Yoshi coins.
Yeah.
Dude, if you get another golden pipe,
It'd be so
okay,
funny.
you can't.
What
You
is
should get
that?
the key.
Are you gonna jump to the barrel?
Get the child. Get
Yeah, I
your
hope you
father.
get that
Hey,
kid.
nice.
Thank you. Why is there a pregnant? What is that fucking emote?
What?
Oh, that's
Oh yeah.
soup. That's
Oh,
Oh
That's
yeah,
soup,
you're just
okay.
full of soup. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yummy.
We have
Yum,
matching
too.
ones that face each other.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. You guys are touching bellies.
Yeah.
You can put emotes in between them too.
Oh, you were so close to the Doom machine.
I know.
Yeah,
I was ready to see what I was gonna see what happens when it gets set off. I'm curious now. I'm like, so I mean, we'll be able to see it at least, right? Because there's at least 3 turns left. Unless the cops chase me off again. I don't
Is it
know.
really 3 turns?
Yeah,
Oh, this is just like the Nintendo
Oh,
Museum.
baseball.
I'm really not good at this one.
That's what you've said every single time.
Yeah,
No.
you can afford to be bad sometimes, you know?
I am. I'm not good at. Look, I'm swinging.
Start.
Oh, come on. Oh,
No
come
way.
on. The
No way, I
fucking
was
lag!
just killing it. I haven't gotten one. I haven't gotten fucking one. What's happening? I was just killing it.
Oh my god. Oh.
Come on, Mario. I mean, Luigi. I mean, fucking dude, come on.
Oh my
like,
god. The lag is
total
so
dick at
fucking
this.
awful.
You gotta hit it, like, before it throws it. Oh, yes, I love the baseball, the American pastime.
That was hard.
I just almost fucking won. I went from nothing to 7. That's crazy.
Wow.
The screen is too big for the imp. Yeah, I want the smallest screen again. That's what it, you know. Nobody takes my height into account, and it's messed up. This world is not built for 3'7" people.
Ugh. I hope I win.
Shut up! You know?
It looks
You already
like-
won
looks like,
last game.
Unless they get like really generous with all the pity stars and they start handing out like 7 to all 3 of us, and then you get 0.
Yeah, that's the only shot we have.
Yeah, it could happen.
Glass
Good,
ceiling
yeah.
for real.
Anything can happen in space, you know.
It's true.
Can't believe they even have a glass
rooting
ceiling
for
in
you.
space. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
I know.
Ah, nice.
12. Yeah,
Oh my
I get to
God.
buy a star. Just the one. You know, it's not really gonna help anything, but it's gonna make me feel better in the long run.
Right. Sugar, are you winning? I'm winning because I'm with some really cool people right now, and it makes me.
But anybody could be close
winner.
to the star.
Oh, look at that.
That's not even that far away.
It's not.
No.
That's literally right there.
No, it's not that far. I think
What
you're
if a
gonna
monkey
get
accidentally
it.
hits the hydrogen collider?
Nuh-uh,
before you
no
get to
way.
the- Yeah, like what if?
Hydrogen collider.
Yeah, like what happens if that's what happens before you get to the star? What's gonna happen?
I don't know.
I can't believe it's just out of reach. I thought it had a multiple dice block. Yeah, go
I'm
for
so
it.
sorry.
Help yourself. Reach into my pockets. It's fine.
Look, you're in a good position right now. You're like almost at the center. You can go anywhere.
It doesn't matter.
I don't think I'm gonna get there, so. Whee! Thank you. All right, now
Oh
we
my
get to see the
God.
cannon
Now
go
we get to
off.
see what happens.
Oh no.
I can't fuck
wait.
this up at this point.
Am I like
Yeah,
right
yeah,
in front
yeah.
of the blast?
Here we go. Let's see what
Oh,
happens.
No, I don't think you are.
What happens now? Nothing. 16
No, you gotta
stars.
get off of it first.
Poor Abe.
Okay. Okay. Oh no.
What's gonna happen?
Oh no. Oh no. Am I eradicating mankind?
Holy shit.
Oh, this
What
looks
does
so
this
cool. I
do?
haven't seen this. I saw this in Mario Party 2.
Queen beam?
Oh my god.
Did it just miss everybody? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
it did.
Oh, no sign of life.
what is it
That's
supposed to do?
crazy.
I'm so scared. What does
It
queen
steals
beam mean?
like all your coins.
That's so
Mm.
evil.
Yeah.
Somebody's like
Shit.
usual, the beam does nothing. They're crossing their arms. They're so mad.
They're like, ah.
Oh, this one sucks.
Beam.
Well, I don't get it.
It's Mario Golf.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
I never
Oh, okay,
played
okay,
Mario
okay.
Golf.
You never play Mario Golf, really?
I never played Mario Golf.
We'll play Mario Golf.
Oh,
Most
Yeah.
of the Mario sports games are actually like pretty solid.
They're fun.
Oh, I just kicked Beer. God damn it.
Stop kicking
Alright.
beer. You didn't do it
I
on
can't
purpose.
believe,
you
yeah,
love
you got
kicking
so
beer.
mad.
Dude, I just had a moment where I looked out my window and it's still daytime, and I was like, oh shit, it's like 8 a.m. I was like, have we been going this long? I got
No, you're crazy.
I
Oh my
went
God.
insane. I was like, I've been having so much fun. I didn't even notice how much time went, and the sun is coming up, you guys.
Oh my god, wait, what?
Oh, wait, I'm supposed to be aiming. Oops.
Yo, Donkey
I'm telling my
Kong.
story. He did a good job.
Yo.
Good.
It's like close enough for a monkey, you know?
He didn't. Yeah, I was expecting him to like blast it into space.
His ape depth perception.
His ape's perception.
No,
Oh,
Wario,
goodness.
you did.
Oh, you did
even
pretty good.
worse.
You did pretty good.
Is there wind even? I think there's like a
No,
little
there's
bit
no
of
wind.
wind.
Oh yeah, there is a slight breeze.
Just a little bit. Oh yeah, you see it.
Nice.
Ooh. Ooh.
I'm just gonna do exactly what you did, but better.
Whatever. See, that's like literally if you're last, you win.
Ah, I did it.
Oh no.
Oh well.
Wait, what? You did it like the same power as me, even.
No, I went slightly.
Why's
slightly higher.
Yoshi throwing a tantrum? Like everybody else was like handling it well.
Even though Monkey was handling it well.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, at least I have my health.
He's too
Yeah.
foolish. He's been winning too much.
He's spoiled.
Why do people hate me in the chat? I'm just a little goose.
It might be like the second win in a row, I think.
I am not gonna win. Come on. You're humbling me.
You have a golden pipe.
No,
not anymore. They
Oh,
used it
not
already.
anymore. Whoops, my
Yeah.
bad.
I used it when you guys were talking. Just like sneaked it off. All right, you got a star.
Yeah, maybe
Wow.
if things go well, we could win. Oh god, oh god, oh, it's way back there. It's way back there.
Is it near me, perhaps? I have to be nice? No.
Oh, it's all the way across the map.
They just redeemed be nice. I have to be nice for 4 minutes. You're a horrible
gonna be
That's
person.
an eternity.
I know.
It's gonna be okay.
Fine. I'll be nice.
Peach,
hang
I'm
on.
sorry, but you're very rich.
You could have
Oh,
got.
could you not steal a star?
You could have got Donkey Kong. Wait, you
I
are
know,
Donkey
I didn't,
Kong.
I didn't-
Wait, you should have got Donkey Kong. They're richer than me.
I didn't even notice. Fight it off. You can do it.
Wait,
you can
I
do
have
it.
to be
Fight
nice.
it off. Fight it off.
Thank
Fight
you.
it off. Fight
for-
it off. Fight it off.
I'm happy to help the less fortunate.
Thank you. Princess Peach is such a philanthropist.
Yeah, I'm such a philanthropist.
Do you think she ever eats the toadstools when like they die?
What? I mean, we have to.
Just wondering. I don't know. It's just a. It's like she's surrounded by food, you know.
I mean, so are we. So if you think
True.
about it.
If you think
Yeah,
about it
really.
technically.
You try hard enough, yeah.
Technically, yes.
Or do you think she maybe like repurposes them and then feeds them to the kingdoms and she like eats like the fresh stuff?
I mean, I would eat them. but
I would eat them too.
I would eat people too.
They're
so,
asking
like,
for it.
you know.
Kind of with the way that the you know like it's
Yeah.
a little annoying, you know.
Oh my god, that's like, oh, never mind. I don't want to say it.
What? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I'll type it.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. I don't even need to hear it.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
I know what you're
Probably
gonna
not. Feel bad for that.
That?
Little critter.
Stop!
No, I said
I feel bad for that thing.
that little creature. I don't know.
Do you feel bad for that little creature?
I do.
Okay, so like the video of DJ Khaled talking to like his fan, this little fan, and then he doesn't know what he said at all, but then he's just like, "Thank you, appreciate." Stop! No, not again. No.
What happened?
Why
Stop
was he...
this man. He just bought another
okay.
golden pipe.
Pipe.
No, I didn't.
I
Why'd
didn't
you buy
realize you
another
could just
golden
do
pipe?
that.
Oh, dude, let me get another one actually. Oh, man.
Let me get another one. Actually, are you serious?
I hate
Let
this
me
dude
get
right now. Are you kidding
It would be
me?
Another
amazing if
one,
you actually like if
Actually,
it was actually on the wheel and you got one. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah. Oh, sick.
what if you really
Damn.
did?
I I'd be happy, you know?
I guess we'll never know.
I think you should maybe land on a space that just gives you like a star next, like a hidden block.
That would
I
be
think
so
I think you
fun.
could use some more stars, honestly.
I mean, why'd you invite me if you know I was gonna win?
Shut up.
Come on, Key. Ah, 15 points. Okay, that's fine,
He's
too.
like, but I'm Donkey Kong.
Donkey.
I'm like, why did I not get the key?
He thinks he's a mafia don.
And my nephew, Don.
That Family Guy bit is so good.
Okay,
but what
Flappy
about-
Bird? We're Flappy Bird.
Okay, wait.
Wait.
Flap wings.
Who's flapping? Am I flapping or?
You're steering and flapping.
No, you're flapping actually. You're the
Wait, am I the
flapper. I'm the
flapper?
steerer.
You're the
Okay,
flapper.
good, 'cause
You gotta
I
just
can
up and down
flap
really
great.
fast.
I can flap.
No,
so good.
you don't do it up and down fast. You hold it up and then down. Like you actually have to like have a rhythm to it.
Okay, I'm
But,
gonna
like,
rhythm.
sort of fast.
I
see now.
I think I'm trying to be sabotaged now.
I see. All right.
All right. Okay.
Why?
Here, I got this.
Don't listen to anything Goose says.
Goose is
See how fast they're doing it right now? There you go, that's it.
Oh. No, I can't say it out loud because you guys will copy me.
Yeah, a little bit faster. There you go. Hold on, I got this. You don't got this. I got this. All right, they got that.
Can you like shoot a laser at them or something?
Whoa!
I mean,
I
can
thought
only
we were
hope
just
that
gonna
they
get
can
hit.
fuck up.
Oh
I
shit!
thought we were
Come
gonna
on,
get hit.
man.
That was really close. That was super close.
Come on, fuck. Oh god.
Oh my
shit.
god.
All right, that's it. It's over.
They're
No,
cooked.
it's not.
We got
it's
this.
never over.
Oh, we got this.
It's
Dang,
never over.
we missed the 2 towers. That's crazy.
It's never over. It's never over.
Oh,
never
we
over.
just hit the tower. We just hit the tower.
That was you. You're the steerer.
I mean, I just hit the tower. Oh my
You
god,
don't
it's
pin
just
me in
lag.
this.
Oh shit.
Oh my god, they got it.
Oh god.
Unless, no, they got it.
No, they got it.
Turn on the TV. It doesn't matter what channel. The little
9/11 too.
flying doohickey hit the towers.
Oh god.
Ooh. Well, that was fun.
I think at the end of the day, I still feel like I won because I'm drinking Java juice.
Oh, there you go.
That's a buff, yeah.
Hashtag not sponsored. Speaking of guys, Go Big Gamer Subs. Using code
Oh,
JOKO, you
yeah.
get 10% off. They have a special today. They have a whole new line of stuff based on day and night, and they're really cute. And they also restocked Anime Girl Thigh. So if you guys want some good shit, look at them.
Yeah. One of our friends' legs is featured. Callie's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calico's legs are across that.
That's so awesome.
9 to the star, 25
Dude,
to the star.
that's what I drank today, and that's why I'm winning.
I've never had it. I told him I want them to send me some, especially since we know somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Since I know somebody
What?
on the label, can you send it to me?
It's honestly my favorite flavor currently, actually. Is the
It's
anime
really
girl Thai
good.
one?
It's just straight up orange creamsicle.
Oh, it's so good. It's so refreshing.
Alright.
Oh, did I win? No.
Also use her Fortnite code. Oh yeah, Fortnite. For that really cool season they're doing right now. It's all Marvel. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm so into it.
Don't sound too excited.
Guys, if you're not a Marvel fan, I mean, you better be.
You better start.
No, stop! No, 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 motherfucker, no, no.
What happened?
What do you mean what happened? It just fucking appeared in front of you.
Oh shit. Yo, that's crazy, actually.
You
my
shouldn't have
God.
said anything.
He went, no matter what, he's gonna get it.
This is the last round, right?
You're just gonna use it just to be okay.
Hold up.
All right.
Just in case, hold up. You never know, I might roll a 1. You never know. Gotta make extra sure. Oh shit, I didn't roll a 1. To roll the opposite, in fact.
Uh-huh.
I think I I'm doing pretty well, I think.
Shut up.
Oh yeah, yes, do you think?
Yeah. It's crazy. It'd be even crazier if it like spawned somewhere that I can get it again. Oh shit! Look at that! Oh shit!
It's
Hold
just
up.
like several spaces around you at all times.
Like in front of you, yeah.
Oh, it's in front of Donkey Kong.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm getting a pity queen.
They literally,
Oh,
yeah, they
yippee.
said, you know what? Here you go.
Yippee!
Yeah, they're like, we're approaching the final round, and we really don't want him to hurt any audience members.
Oh my god.
If I hit the event square, it would have been so
Oh my god, that would have been so
What if I roll a
mean.
1? Okay.
All right, cool.
There you go.
Woohoo! 1 star.
Everybody got a star. I'm so happy.
You don't get to be happy.
Why?
Oh my god, everybody got a little bit. And I got all of it.
I'm so proud of you guys.
We don't want your pride.
Cool.
Too bad it's the last round.
No, you're gonna make it.
Oh.
The
Final minigame. I hope. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh my
You
God.
were by yourself
Donkey
for the
Kong.
final minigame?
That sucks.
Alrighty.
That sucks.
Oh, it's the fucking thumbnail.
The thumbnail?
Oh my god, it is.
Oh,
You're right.
shit.
Oh no.
Oh
So it's
my
super
God.
weighted in your
This
favor.
is fate. This
So-
is fate.
Don't listen to what it says. Use your palm because it's the only way
Yeah,
to do
it says do not rotate with your palm. I'm rotating with my palm.
That's crazy that they got sued for this.
They got
Really?
sued for it?
Yeah, it's a class
originally
action
in the 90s.
lawsuit.
They had to send everybody that owned the game a pair of gloves.
I remember
Really?
that. Yeah.
I
the
don't remember that at all.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god! 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 He's
Oh
got
my
monkey
God.
Dude.
He's literally
Monkey
got monkey
strength.
strength.
Monkey
I was
strength, yeah.
palming. I was palming.
That was crazy.
Wow.
So wait,
Yeah,
it
it's
fucked
really
up people's
weighted in
hands
favor.
basically by doing that? Like it
Oh my
like,
god. Let me find a
cause
picture.
irritation or something? Oh really? Did it rip up somebody's skin?
Probably, because especially the N64, your hand would get hot.
Yeah,
Oh,
that one
yeah.
was also plasticky and hard too, actually.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
It didn't have
What
like the
people's
little
hands
rubber
look like
coating
after
on
this
it.
shit. I got a pity star.
Yo, Pete.
Yeah. They just gotta build up their Mario calluses.
If you
Like,
get
this is what
another
it
one,
looked
you can
like.
win.
Yeah, that's literally it. You
Oh my
get a
God,
fucking circle burn.
You get like a little mark of the beast. It's amazing.
Do you see that? Yeah, literally. Like adults were like saying Nintendo was the devil and stuff.
Wow. Incredible.
Oh my
Yo,
god!
I think you won. I think you won.
Shut up.
Are you
Really?
serious?
No
Genuinely.
way. No way.
Yo, I
come
think
out
she
of
won. Hold
nowhere?
up. Wait, both of y'all? Damn.
They're not done. They're not done. Are they?
I don't think so. I think I was a star behind you guys.
No, you won. You won.
I don't know.
Not if you
They
wish.
said,
shit.
The mafia's taking all the stars.
uh-oh.
You won because you got the most
think it-
money.
I think it's Goose. I think it's Goose.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god!
No.
Yo,
Yeah, you
took
pulled it
the
out.
race. Congratulations.
I knew I was
Wow,
gonna win
see,
the whole
I knew
time.
you could do it.
I knew I was gonna win the whole time.
I knew you could do it. Look at you.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Uh-huh. Oh, what?
Oh my god, I'd like to thank me for the big win. Honestly, I think I really just performed better, you know? I think
I want everyone in chat to know that she won the unlucky star. That's the one
I
that got her
think-
to win.
No.
I think my raw skills and uncontested luck really brought me here, and I think it just brought us all closer together just to celebrate me, really. What do you guys
Yeah.
think? Yeah?
I think so.
I think DK will agree to anything. Sure, yeah.
I get banana now?
Hey, we'll send him back to his pen.
I'm all?
Yeah, he's gotta go back to his zoo terrarium where he's unhappy and alone.
Suit terrarium.
His
He has,
little
like,
Donkey
one-
Kong terrarium.
Yeah, he's got one tire swing and like he hears lions in the distance, so he's always afraid.
It's just speakers like blaring.
You gotta keep that like primal fear in him.
It's like that Vietnam like horrible experiment they did where they put speakers out at night and they made like they played like recordings of their dying brethren and
Oh
shit.
god. Yeah,
serious?
nasty like that.
Yeah.
Damn, who
it's-
came up with
it's really-
that? That's crazy.
They literally played like loudspeakers in the middle of the nights where like the Viet Cong were hanging out, and then they were like playing audio of like them dying and their ghosts.
Yeah, and like
coming back and being,
babies
like,
crying and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my
no,
god.
seriously, their ghosts were like, "You have to quit. You're not gonna win. You suck."
It's like Metal Gear Solid 3 when you're fighting the Sorrow and you're just like walking up the hill. You see like the ghosts of everybody going like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
wow, look at Donkey Kong. He's like still thinking about
He's
it.
like- he's, like, really
what's going on right
confused.
now.
Yo, he's looking at Yoshi's ass, dog.
Oh, he is.
He saw the back of the
out.
coin.
He's like, yo,
He's looking at the
kinda-
back of the coin.
I'm kind of acting up right now.
Oh, boy, no shit.
What, is DK dying? He's not dying. He's dying for that ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just getting a little blasted, but that never happened because no one ever got hit by the coin beam. It's
Yeah,
a
that's actually
fabricated
false
photo.
advertising. Yeah, that's his
Yeah.
AI. This is just like the Trump attempted assassination. It's all just AI
Yeah,
generated.
yeah. You missed it. It didn't happen.
DK Bada ape out.
DK about to ape out. Okay.
Be okay.
Oh, Goose, you have to press A.
Oh shit, me? No, it's you.
No.
Oh.
See, now Coke, you have to press A. See?
Oh,
Wow.
Ba-ba.
There we go.
Ah, the rich
Well-
get richer.
It's
know.
really hard being royalty.
It's
you know?
sick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at the chart. Look at the chart, and then like
Oh my
the number
God.
of stars, and look at the blue line. Like you
Goose
went insane.
consistently won over everybody the entire time.
Exactly.
He's
And
dominating.
you just got like the most extreme like burp.
Wow. Well, see this in reverse is what happens whenever you buy the Chris Chan medallion. That's like
really
your
true.
life. I can't even level up anymore.
What?
No,
You're
that's
maxed
it.
out? Probably because you're
Wow.
level 100. They didn't
Why
think about
can't you
that.
max?
They didn't think
I
about
haven't-
anybody.
You know what's crazy? I haven't even played this game that many times. Like, really, if I look at how many hours is on this bitch right now, can I do that?
No.
Probably.
35 hours. That's nothing. That's really nothing.
But how'd you get to level 100 then?
Yeah, that's wild. The 30. You must have been winning all of your matches.
I
Yeah. So
guess.
this is
Bump
proof that you
bonuses.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take the proof that I win. All right. That was great. I'm glad we got
It was. I had a good time. Thank you for
Yeah.
having us.
Blast with you
Oh my God.
guys.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Like big
Thank
time.
you.
Taking
Yeah,
some
yeah.
time to party with your little imp friend here.
I
Of
had a
course, it is good to
blast.
see you. Good to be here.
Good to see you too. And if you guys ever want to do like the Mario 64 thing or anything or just whatever, just hit me up. I'm gonna be
Absolutely.
hitting you up as soon as that stuff is ready.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down.
How long have I been going? Oh, I think I'm gonna keep going after this.
Oh, no problem.
Okay,
No
sounds
problem.
good.
The night is young.
Yes.
It's a long weekend too.
Yeah.
Not that it
Um,
matters for like us that are not workers, but you know,
Not
the
workers.
normals. For the normals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for us non-workers, you know. Like, get
Our
good,
we're
guys.
non-essential.
Non-taxers.
Yeah, for us people that kind of just live in like alleyways and stuff.
Yeah.
under beds.
Pokey, you see they've got you spinning up Yoshi's ass. I don't.
Yeah, I see that. They've been doing some really
Excuse me?
creative ones with that too, because there is that like smiley face that had like all of. I'm assuming the white liquid was probably spit because I was spitting on it because it couldn't be anything else, obviously, because I was the one providing the spit. But there's some really good combinations here that they kept using.
That's crazy. What is this Yossi emo? I'm just now seeing it finally.
How do you know?
Oh my
He's-
God.
It's like he's like on like is he about to like race or
Presenting.
something? Like what is the situation where he's
That
presenting
has
his
to be
Yessie?
porn.
Yo, the
That
fucking
has to
Mario
be
with
porn.
the Yessie?
No.
Yeah.
Or is that how he looks if he crouches?
That is 100%
No,
porn.
he doesn't.
No, that,
You see it from the side. You never see it from the.
Is that
actual.
not? Is that not a render from like Yoshi's Island or whatever?
No, that is definitely just porn.
It doesn't look like porn though. You're not
He's
never
definitely
seen
doing dark
it.
shots.
You guys are dirty. I don't see it.
I don't see it. I think to me it looks like he's like crouched and ready to run.
No, look at his
Yeah,
bedroom
no,
eyes.
He's
Bet you
crouched
think
and
so?
ready to receive.
Yes, 100%.
That's
Yeah.
not bedroom. That's how he looks like.
No, it's not. No, he is so ready. That is absolutely from like a porn render. I would put like all the stars I just won on it.
Well, you didn't win that many, so no.
Hey,
Just kidding.
hey,
You won at the end. You won at the
hey.
end. You won at the end.
I'll have you know I'm still wearing this crown. I'm still
That's
the
true.
winner.
That's true. You're still the queen.
I'm still the queen. Well, can I get like a shout out for Koki and me? Please? Please?
Not for me though.
Not for you, no.
I don't care.
Wait.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One second. Okay, yeah, I went with for Goose too. Okay, just making sure of something. Alright guys, well, I understand you have a stream later, me.
Yeah. We'll slide on out. But it was so good. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Yeah,
Thank
it was
you
a
guys.
really great time. It was one of the
super
chillest
fun.
Mario parties I ever.
Yeah. But none of us
honestly.
actually got like that mad.
Nobody got salty. Yeah, we were just
Yeah.
chilling. We were just
Yeah.
making gorilla jokes the whole time.
It's because we
Nobody
had
got
to stay
salty.
calm for him.
Yeah.
I'll try harder next time.
Oh,
He was
yeah,
trying
yeah.
so hard to make me mad.
Yeah, I was really trying to piss
He
everyone
really
off.
was. He really was.
Right.
I had to just like think about like my happy place, you know?
Oh
No
yeah.
men, just like. Alright.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for the stream. Thank you for having us. Bye, Choco.
Thank you, thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you. That was so
cute.
cool. They're so awesome.
Yeah, they
Guys,
are.
go follow them if you're not. I'm sure you are.
They're funny
so,
as fuck too.
So, are you gonna stay with me?
What's up? I mean, maybe. I'm a little hungry, but I literally I could be with you, sure. I mean, I finished my video, so I'm a free man until like
I know,
Sunday.
that's why I'm asking. That's what I'm telling you.
Well, what are you gonna
keep
do?
Playing games with me.
What are you gonna do?
Well, we're gonna take a quick break and then figure it out.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I have to go to the bathroom really bad.
Okay.
Alright, guys, listen to some soothing tunes from Super Mario. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Hell to you!
everybody! Hello! Welcome back. Hi! Goose and I were figuring out what to do, and I think we figured it out. We're gonna be doing some really silly shit. What's going on here? Well, I was playing Mario Party with me and Koki, but they had to go, so now we're switching over to another thing. So we're now going to be playing Super Mario Brothers 2.